Hello? Hello, I hope you can hear me. My microphone just fell before the start of the stream, so I hope it's not broken. That'd be upsetting. First 3 seconds, that's insane. Hello, hello. Ah, okay. Hello? Okay. It's working. It's nice. It's good. It's good to hear. All right. Not zero viewers. That's already a success. It's five more people than I deserve, to be honest. All right. How are you guys doing? Bruh, I am not gonna lie. Just came back from work a couple hours ago. I've been just watching TikTok for 2 hours. it has been it has been pretty nice 2 hours. Not gonna lie. We're watching High School DxD, my favorite anime, bruh. W. Unironically, I need to, I guess, finish High School DxD, because I think I'm like one season in and I never continued. But I'm like, I know some things that happen. I need to, because of that, I need to watch it. All right. What's that? Anime Kai got shut down. That's insane. Wait, no, it didn't. Uh, I think it's no. Wait, no. What do you mean shut down? It's still on. They're pretty sure, unless they just changed the IP of the website. Okay, I need to turn off notifications on my phone because it's gonna be annoying. All right. So. And reading the novels of the sequel vault. Reading is always nice. So. On this stream, I basically just wanted to watch a couple more videos that came out, and the ones I didn't watch on my previous stream, because as always, some videos I feel like it's interesting to watch them like on streams, because when I watch them by myself, I keep pausing and I can never finish. So I think watching I pre-selected a few videos. I want to try to watch them. Happy Mother's Day. I'm not a mother, but your mother wasn't KGB, bro. I wish. I feel like I would have been much more spoiled kid if my mom wasn't KGB. But my mom, unfortunately, was just an actress in theater in Russia. So, which unfortunately is not that much money. Bruh, imagine if my mom was in KGB, I'd be like freaking John Wick, which would have been freaking great. But, but, I don't have a dog though. I'm not that into dogs, so I guess I wouldn't be too good of a John Wick. Because I have an I don't know if I mentioned this on stream. I have an iguana, which arguably I would dare to say a much better pet than a dog, because you don't have to walk it every morning. And I was taking care of a dog like a couple times for my friends, and they would just leave it. And bro, I back in the day I thought that like jogging with it every morning or something was a good idea, but it was so exhausting after just a week. Like waking up every day, picking up its poo all the time. Like, nah, not worth it. Maybe you gotta be a dog person to relate to having a dog, but I like reptiles more. Alright, so I guess let's start watching. Let's not drag this anymore. So basically, I've seen this video partially. In this, I even commented in here, and I was interested because first of all, Ayanokoji is mentioned there, but from the comments, I think he's only describing the season 1 Ayanokoji, and a lot of people argued that like story of Classroom of Lead gets better after season 1, obviously. So like, not that bad. But I'm also interested why. Like, there's Kenjaku, who I would say is not that good of a manipulator. So I'm interested what they say in the video, because I've seen a few clips and it's really well made. So
manipulators might.
I just want to make sure the video is not louder than me, because freaking my first stream was so embarrassing because the goddamn video was louder than my freaking annoying voice. Let me just make sure.
Be the most satisfying characters
oh,
in all
yeah,
of
I think it's
fiction.
good.
Think about that moment where someone just casually reveals they had everything planned from the beginning. The story suddenly clicks, and you realize they were 10 steps ahead the entire time. But on the other hand, there are also times when someone receives the title of manipulator, even if it's debatable whether they actually earned it. Characters that the story presents.
Wait, is Shadow actually a manipulator? I've never thought about it. Can you say he's a manipulator? Pretty sure his manipulate, like he just like he just hides his identity. That's the only manipulation.
Even if it's debatable whether they actually earned it. Characters that the story presents as geniuses who treat people like chess pieces while pulling the strings from the shadows. Except that the second you actually pay attention, you start to realize that this isn't really the case. And that is the difference between well-written manipulators and edgelords. But the real question is, what are the actual rules that separate these two things? And how do you create a manipulator?
Bruh, this video so far is perfect for my reaction, because he shows all the anime I've talked to you about recently, and which I've rewatched, though. It's gotta be good.
That people will love.
Bruh, the music is so good too. I love classic music. I think it's the violin right now. It's so good. I need to stop using music. I need to start using music in my videos, I feel like. Because in some moments, like, I tried, just for dramatic effect. But I feel like it would have been even better if I had a background music all the time. But I need to edit longer for that.
In my opinion, it all comes down to 3 things. And the first one is insight, or the ability to understand.
Wait, what is he holding? Is that a Goku figure? Is he just gonna hold it the whole video?
People. It basically means the manipulative character knows exactly what makes a specific person tick, and more importantly, how to use that information against them without them even realizing. Makima from Chainsaw Man meets this dude called Denji, figures out exactly who he is, finds out that not a single person on this earth has ever looked at him like he's an actual human being, and decides to become all of these things for him. She gives him food, a home. I mean, this lady literally made his entire world orbit around her. Monster does something similar. Johann Liebert is a man capable of getting inside your head.
Bro, Makima, I would say, arguably is one of the... I don't know if the, like, best written manipulators, but really, when I think of manipulators, I can't think of a better manipulator than Makima. Because she, like, takes it... First of all, the whole idea that I think it was mentioned in the notes, correct me if I'm wrong, but the author of Chainsaw Man, he mentioned, right, that devils take form of whatever they're representing. And since Makima represents control, she looks like a woman. I feel like that's so many layers of deep metaphors, and I love it. If that's actually the... I don't think he elaborated on that statement, but I like to think that that's exactly what he meant.
Things for him. She gives him food, a home. I mean, this lady literally made his entire world orbit around her. Monster does something similar. Johann Liebert is a man capable of...
Monster, in fact, does something similar, because Johann literally pulls out a Makima at some point, which is freaking hilarious. He literally, like, cross-dresses. Wait, I even want to find it because it's freaking funny as hell. Here. Wait, where is it? Did I mispronounce his name? Yeah, there. There! That's Johan. Okay, maybe Makima is not that good of a manipulator because Johan freaking takes the whole different level sometimes.
Getting inside your head, find the deepest, most buried part of you that you've never shown to anybody, and speak directly to it. And once he's done that, you will do almost anything. Not because he forced you, but because the guy changed how you see reality itself, which does result in one of the most cold-blooded manipulators in anime history. Or even someone like Lelouch Lamperouge from Code Geass. This man is out here engineering entire alliances, betrayals, power shifts. He's deciding who trusts who fears who owes who, while sitting at the center of this whole web of relationships and pulling every single string from the inside. Those are 3 manipulative characters with 3 very different...
I like how 2 of them, however, I gotta point out, Johan at the very least, I feel like Johan might be better than Makima and Lelouch, because Johan doesn't have mind control when I think about it. Like, these 2 are really good manipulators, but they have mind control, which makes it like 10 times easier to manipulate someone when you can mind control them.
Manipulation methods. And yet...
Especially Makima doesn't even... Okay, Makima doesn't even use mind control that much. Well, she can't do it on Denji. Bruh, maybe I should do a video where I'm like, who's the better manipulator? Johan or Makima? What do you think? Because I feel like that's like much more interesting than just who is more powerful kind of comparison. Because they're really good manipulators, but like it's interesting to compare how they manipulate. Because Makima, even though she can manipulate everyone easily, she can manipulate Denji. And that's the only one who matters to her.
Every single one of them shares one thing in common. In every single case, you as the viewer understands exactly why it works. None of these guys are forcing anyone to do anything. Instead, they're exploiting something vulnerable in the person they're trying to manipulate. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Ayanokoji.
First time.
And to be more specific, I am talking about Ayanokoji in the classroom of the elite anime, not the light novel. And I swear, if somebody in the comments starts talking about, well, actually, if you read the light novel, bro, I'm going to crash out.
Well, actually, read the book. Come on, it's good.
It makes no sense. The anime exists. I watched the anime. We are talking about the anime. Sorry, okay, so, look, Ayanokoji is framed as a manipulator, right? I mean, the show is constantly telling you this man is cold, calculating, always in control.
The thing is, what's also interesting about this argument, that, like, read a book, in case of Classroom of the Elite author had a total control over anime, if I remember correctly. Like, he could have tell the studio to do it differently if he wanted to. Like, if they were ruining his vision. But, like, I don't think he did.
He's got the blank face, the flat voice. He's got the whole internal monologue about how people are just tools to him. My man even has this supernatural ability to just appear behind a character who just happened to be saying something important. In all seriousness, all the elements are actually there. But here's the thing. When you break down the specific methods he uses to get people to do what he wants, it feels very different from the characters I mentioned before. For example, there's this girl in Ayanokoji's class, and at a certain point in the story, this man decides he needs her help. She's popular, everybody likes her, she is exactly the type of person that could genuinely be useful to him. Okay, cool, so what does he do? He finds out that this girl is being picked on by a group of girls from another class. Okay, he walks up to her and proposes to help her in a calm and reassuring way. The manipulation is going very smoothly. No, I'm kidding. This man anonymously contacts the group of girls, points them towards a specific hidden location where they can mess her up without anybody seeing it go down, sets the whole thing up and shows up at that exact location himself before revealing to her that he's the one who did it. All of that after they're done beating her up, of course. And on top of that, he threatens to make her life even more difficult by telling everybody that she's being picked on, which I think is a bad thing because it would hurt her reputation or something like that, which, you know, doesn't really make sense. So she immediately refuses and no, she accepts and falls in love with him. Then,
You know, the funniest part, like, I think it's later explained by the Stockholm Syndrome or something like that, but I really don't. Like, it's so weird whenever somebody recaps it. This whole scene is really weird. Have you heard of Talentless Nana? No, unfortunately, I haven't.
is what the show is presenting as elite manipulation. But let's actually think about this for a second. First of all, before this whole incident happened, these girls were literally hurting her in the open. So everybody already knew this was happening. This is not some buried secret this man dug up after weeks of research. And second, this girl is already desperately looking for someone who can make all of this stop. Based on the examples I've shown you,
By the way, you know what I just remembered? If I remember correctly,
is already desperately
in the book, this guy, who was her boyfriend, kinda, at the time, I think he was dating Kurosawa, but it's mentioned they're not entirely in love. Like, they were basically faking it for whatever reason. So, the thing is, I just remembered that in this dialogue in the book, he mentions that he was picked... His friend or something, he was picked in his previous school. Code Strongest LARPer, that's me. So, anyway, so, in the light novels, and in this conversation in the book, he was explaining that his, like, best friend was picked on in school, like, incredibly horribly before he transferred into the classroom of the elite high school. And I don't remember what exactly Kurosawa answered to that, because he, in the end, didn't want to help her. And I'm, like, trying to remember right now what was exactly the reason, because I remember that he was recapping that story where his best friend was also bullied, but he didn't want to help her when she was being bullied. So, like, what's the deal with this guy? I mean, I guess, like, they needed the, like, author needed the story where nobody wanted to help Kurosawa besides Ayanokoji. That's why she kind of liked him. But still, like, bro, what's wrong with this guy? Although I feel the character in this in the anime are intentionally made dumb for the MC strikes. Well, I mean, I guess. Like, I mean, I get the trope that everyone is dumb so that the main character can shine, kind of plotline. But still, okay, caught they used this. Okay, caught they used the Stockholm Syndrome. Okay, I guess. Well, like there's several moments, like I was saying in the video, where Ayanokoji basically makes someone's life problem, and then he comes up and saves them. And then they like him. So I guess he basically, his main weapon is Stockholm Syndrome. And it's super effective, yes.
Looking for someone who can make all of this stop. Based on the examples I've shown you before, what would a manipulator with real insight do? Probably not terrify someone who is already terrified. Instead, they would become the person who makes the fear stop and makes her feel seen for the first time. They become the one person she feels like she can actually rely on. And then once all of that is established, then they ask for what they want. She wouldn't even see it happening, and that's the whole point.
Well, obviously Ayanokoji's so great, he just skips step 1. He just goes to the terrified part.
Those incredible manipulators are charismatic, charming, and they know exactly how to make somebody believe whatever they want them to believe. And look, I am not saying that there can't be different flavors of manipulation, even though that sounds like the most insane thing I've ever said. But I do think that what Ayanokoji does fails as manipulation on almost every single level. I'm not saying it makes zero sense, because the story does go back and give us information about this girl that technically justifies why she reacted the way she did. I'll give it that. But this man chose the most extreme.
I had this discussion with my friend. The only realistic intelligent character were Arisu, Koenji, and Ruin. I don't know. Well, Ruin for sure is not a realistic manipulator. I guess it's realistic that he threatens people and then they do what he wants. Like, that's kind of realistic. But there, if I remember correctly, there are still a few points where, at the very least, what was stupid about him is that they try to justify in Classroom of the Elite why he was evil, and that sounded like the dumbest part. Like where he said he was taking care of his class, and he wants them all to transfer to class 1, and for that he was picking on other classes to steal points from them. Like that was his reasoning for being evil, and I don't know, that sounds like the stupidest part ever. Because after Ayanokoji beat him, they kind of became friends. Read the rest of the novels, bro. I don't know. Maybe I consider that maybe I should have made like a huge Classroom of the Elite video, like a large 2-hour review or something where I read all the books, and so I can talk about it as a whole. But I feel like it's not worth it. Maybe later, because I'm a nobody, and nobody nobody watches me, so I feel like it's not that point. By the way, the account has over 20k people on the server. You mean like a Discord server? Is that what you mean?
An unnecessarily complicated route available when there was a clearly more efficient path sitting right in front of him, which does not make it seem like he manipulated someone, just that the author gave him a win that he didn't actually earn. One of the coldest acts of manipulation in anime history is Itachi Uchiha slaying his entire family except for his little brother Sasuke before having the audacity to just run away.
Bruh. Well, I don't know if I can say it's a good manipulation. Is there any Naruto fans in the chat? Because, bruh, in Naruto, Sasuke killed the entire Uchiha clan because he said it would stop the circle of violence, kind of like Eren. Only, I don't know, killing all the entire clan, which people just considered evil, seems like kind of a stretch, if I say so myself. So I don't know if it's where's the manipulation exactly there?
Everything Sasuke does from that moment forward is for revenge, until they fight, and it's finally revealed that Itachi was actually guiding his development from the shadows and was nothing like the cold-blooded monster he pretended to be. And their most iconic moment ever has been paid tribute to in a brand.
Nah, I would say arguably he is a cold-blooded monster. He did kill everyone in the freaking clan. So, oh, and a few more stuff, obviously, while he was being part of the Akatsuki.
In a brand new game, and today's sponsor, NTE.
Bruh, get that AI slop out of here, bruh.
Stuff is shats, and manipulator isn't operating. So now that we have insight, we also need to make it work. And that's where the second rule comes in. Resistance. A manipulator isn't operating in a vacuum. They're in a world full of people who aren't just gonna roll over and let them do whatever they want. I hope. Which means that their manipulation is only as impressive as the opposition they have to manipulate. If nobody's
Bro, that was such a good scene in Code Geass, because that guy could read minds, right? Never playing shit, bruh. That was so good. Bruh, I need to. Maybe the next video I'm gonna make. Next video I wanted to make it like experimental. Just to release it really quickly. Make it about Marathon and Arc Raiders. And after that, like in a couple days, it'll be another anime video. Maybe I should make a video about Code Geass, but I feel like Code Geass is gonna take a little longer because there's a lot of details. Right.
If nobody's giving them a real challenge, then what are we even talking about? And this is a rule that kind of applies across most anime. Is the reason it's often way more fun to watch a close fight than it is to watch someone absolutely body an opponent. The easiest way to understand why resistance actually matters is to look at a series that's been doing this better than almost anybody else in anime history and is still a classic to this day for this exact reason. Death Note. In this series, Light Yagami, also known as Kira, is basically the smartest dude you can think of. His goal is to use the Death Note powers to punish criminals and create a new world where he rules as the King of Justice. But that's not really what makes him interesting, because at almost every single turn, there is somebody right there trying to stop him. Somebody equally as intelligent and dangerous, and that is L. From basically the moment Kira shows up and starts doing his thing, L is already there.
Arguably, L is more intelligent, I would say. Just plot. He had to fight Light and the plot. So that's why he lost.
Making moves that Light didn't even see coming. There's this one moment in Death Note where Light decides to erase his own memory, which sounds like the dumbest idea possible.
Because it is. By the way, people in chat, please like this stream. I would really appreciate it. So anyway, because it is the dumbest thing ever. He didn't have to erase his memories. I would say, like, erasing his own memories is even worse.
His own memory, which sounds like the dumbest idea possible, until you realize it is actually one of the coldest moves this man makes in the entire series. Because at that point, it was literally the only option he had left. L is closing in. The pressure is getting to a point where Light cannot manage it anymore. So this man engineers a situation where he genuinely does not know, where he can just sit across from L, go through the whole investigation, and be completely sincere about being innocent. Death Note is a series where two manipulators are constantly adapting under real pressure and coming up with a solution that nobody else would have thought.
You know, by the way, what crossed my mind is that, like, Light is super genius, right? But pretending that he's actually innocent is too much for him. Like, no, it sounds like it's a cool twist, I guess, that he makes himself forget that he's Kira, and then he remembers when he touches the Death Note in the end of this arc. But I feel like, couldn't he just, like, act that he doesn't remember?
Of against somebody who is always trying to fight back. Both of these guys make mistakes. There are moments when you're watching and you genuinely don't know if they're gonna find a way out. And that constant back and forth is exactly what makes moments of successful manipulation feel earned and extremely satisfying. Now, let's go.
That manipulation, I feel like, wasn't satisfying. Like, when he gives, like I said, when he gives his note, like I said in my last video, where he gives Death Note to a random guy, and people corrected me in the comments, they're like, he actually told Ren to give Death Note to a rich and selfish person, or something like that. But still, even with this criteria, it's still a random guy. There's no telling what random guy is gonna do, even though, like, I get that the whole idea is that, like, he wanted to give it to a random guy who's gonna use it for his selfish ways and kill random people, so it's gonna be easier to trace in an investigation with L. But I feel like there's so many ways you could have done that without just giving it to a random guy. Like, is there no people he could have chosen who could have been, like, an easier target? Well, because it's basically, it's pure luck. There's nothing else to it. It's pure luck he didn't burn the Death Note, even though there's a rule that says if you burn the Death Note, you die. Like, I feel like when you're cornered, when you're a serial killer, when you know you're gonna spend life in prison, I feel like he could have just done that, like, realistically speaking.
Now, let's go back to Ayanokoji. The school and classroom of the elite is supposed to be this prestigious, elite institution. The whole premise is built on the idea that only the best and brightest end up here to compete against each other. That is actually kind of the perfect setup for a manipulative character. I mean, if everyone around you is super intelligent and constantly watching each other, then someone who can successfully pull strings in that environment would feel genuinely impressive. But that is not what happens. Here's an example. At the very start of the series, every student in Ayanokoji's class gets handed a large sum of points with no kind of real explanation. And they can use these points to basically buy, anything from the shops that are around the school. And again, apparently there are no conditions. Almost every single one of them.
Well, there is an explanation that the Chibashira, the teacher, she does mention that you get those points. I think she does say you get those points per month. But she just doesn't mention that the amount of point depends on your grades during this month. And if you fail all the classes, you just get 0 points. Again, I love Chibashira, like, as a character, because she leaves constant pieces, which are important rules of the school, because she just doesn't like this class. That's the best part.
Immediately blows it all within days. On snacks, clothes, entertainment, the majority of the class has burned through everything. And then bam, we learned that the points were never unconditional. They were always tied to how well you do in school, and it's a resource you have to earn. Ayanokoji, of course, saved almost all of his points. The show frames this as a clever twist and a proof of his intelligence. But is it though? Because almost none of these guys thought to ask a single question before spending everything they had. None of them considered the consequences or even held anything back just in case. Ayanokoji didn't really do anything smart. He did what any reasonable, cautious person would do when handed an unexplained sum in an unfamiliar environment. The bar for genius and manipulation in this show isn't outsmarting intelligent people. It's outsmarting people who apparently forgot how to think. The cast around this man constantly behaves way below the intelligence level the premise keeps promising us. People fall for obvious bluffs. They miss straightforward alternatives. And okay, let's just pretend that this isn't an elite school for a second. That would not really change the problem at all. Because if Ayanokoji is a genius manipulator who only manipulates average goofballs, then how is that impressive? It's kind of like a situation like this happened. Haha, thanks to my master plan, this person standing in front of me will have no choice but...
Actually, yeah, you know, he does say a lot of the things I said in the video, but I feel like this is just obvious. Like, the takes about Ayanokoji in the classroom of the elite, that's like... there's just the obvious... arguments you can just think of if you watch this anime.
Standing in front of me will have no choice but to do what I say. Hey, you. Because you have a phone and hands, you have to subscribe to my channel. What he says is true. His logic is undeniable, and I'm genuinely baffled by his intelligence. Therefore, I have no choice but to do exactly what he said, okay? Now, sure, there are definitely times when Ayanokoji has to outsmart people who give him more of a challenge. Some of them even have unique styles and ways of opposing him, but even then, he still always comes out on top with ease. Listen, even amongst the biggest classroom of the elite fans, there's a pretty general agreement that Ayanokoji is basically carrying everyone around him, which is true. And sure, 100%, it is fun to see someone obliterate their enemies, but when that's the only thing that happens, it gets kind of old. And it definitely makes it difficult.
You know, if I think about it, he does outsmart everyone, but it took him almost 3 seasons to outsmart the blonde girl. What was her name? The blonde girl who is faking her personality, who acts nice, but she's actually psycho. Because she successfully manipulated Ayanokoji for like 2 whole seasons. She was basically, and her only manipulation was basically, you touched me. And that successfully worked.
To call the character a good manipulator. So now we have a character who has the ability to actually read people and resistance from somebody who's really trying to stop them, which is exactly where rule number 3 comes in, which I honestly think is the most important one out of all of them. And that is legitimacy. Put it simply, the story cannot cheat for the manipulator. And look, honestly, even some of the most beloved, most hyped up manipulative characters in all of fiction are guilty of this at some point. Like, take Aizen from Bleach. His plan is deep, and a lot of it is actually explained pretty well. But there are moments where it starts sliding into that, you know, this was all part of his plan territory. And yeah, it's fun, but it can sometimes kind of feel like the story is just handing it to him.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Aizen freaking... Again, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen Bleach entirely, but he freaking made Ichigo's birth possible, basically? Like, that's some Kenjaku level of planning.
Same thing with Kenjaku from Jujutsu.
Which, again, same thing with Kenjaku, I'm like, what the hell? Like, excuse me, bruh?
Kaisen or Johan from Monster. These guys are some of the coldest dudes ever written, but even they have moments where you're watching.
I don't know if Kenjaku is Kenjaku a good even manipulator? Because I don't think so. Like, all of his, I feel like even the Toji is better manipulator, so to speak, because basically all Kenjaku did is basically like caught Gojo off guard by using body of his dead friend. It's basically the manipulation, which he did, and I I don't think anyone like again, what was the manipulations that Kinjaku did? I feel like Kinjaku didn't do shit as a manipulator. He was just like conveniently, just like got convenient alliances, and he somehow found the prison realm.
And thinking, all right, did he actually figure this out, or did the author just need this to happen right now? I really don't think this is a wrong way to do it, by the way, but I do want to talk about a character who demonstrates this principle in a very different way.
I mean, I would say it's arguably... You don't remember any fits from Canny? I guess not. Wait, Canny? Like the guy from South Park? That Canny? Bruh, I feel like... It is important, though, what he just said.
Talk about a character who demonstrates this principle in a very different way. This out, or did the author just need this to happen right now? I really don't think this is a wrong way to...
Like, I feel like it's kind of a wrong way to write the manipulator or just the villain in general. If you don't explain how he got to a certain part, he just did. Like, you can accept it when you read the story or watch a story, but I feel like it's just generally not good. If, say, you have a character who just... Like, it's not... Okay, it's not bad, but it's generally, like, lazy. When just character got to a certain point, and you're like, how did he do that? And he just did. You're supposed to accept that he did. I didn't take it so far. Kinjaku did so much for the sake of his plan. Yeah, I agree. Kinjaku freaking... becoming possessing body of Itadori's woman, I mean Itadori's mother, just to birth Itadori, like that's... I don't think I remember another villain who literally took it that far for something that wasn't even directly part of his plan. Like, he basically just did that to have Itadori as a good seal for Sukuna. And Sukuna wasn't even part of his plan, really. Like, all the stuff with the... calling games. Like, he didn't have to go the extra mile over there, I feel like.
Do it, by the way, but I do want to talk about a character who demonstrates this principle in a very different way. Kanki from Kingdom. Now, if you haven't read Kingdom, first of all...
Yes, showing their reasoning process is important. I don't like how author didn't some sort of Koji process for a second annihilating island. Oh, yeah, I guess you're... Oh, you're right, they go on the island for the second time. That's why Conan is all the reasoning, maybe Conan should be my next video. Because on all this... I feel like this is the third stream where people mention him. So, maybe.
Read Kingdom, but basically Kanki is a war general fighting for the Kingdom of Qin during China's warring states period. At some point during the story, he's leading this battle...
Nah, it's fine, bro, don't worry. I make typos all the time as well.
...against the Zhao Kingdom. And my man has to deal with two generals at the same time, Kisui and Kisha. No, not Kesha. Kisha. Now, these two people are not the same type of problem at all. Kisui is a devoted, deeply loyal commander who has sworn to protect the city of Rigon at all costs. Kisha, on the other hand, is a master strategist who is literally compared to a spider. He is somebody who lures opponents into traps and reads their behavior with cold precision. Kanki deals with both of them separately and in completely different ways. With Kisha, he does something very simple. Nothing. Like, bro is literally sitting down and getting a massage. At first, that might seem like a completely stupid idea, but that move right there broke Kisha's brain. He starts getting more and more irritated by the second, and eventually just snaps and abandons his whole defensive setup to charge in. And the second he does that, Kanki's forces are already wrapping around him. For Kisui, Kanki already knows...
Was that a manipulation? Is that a manipulation? Can you call it that? What he just described? Because he basically just baited, bro. Like, that's actually a lot of comments under, like, my Alistair from Husband Hotel video, because they say that Alistair is a rage baiter and not a manipulator. I feel like the same thing goes here. He just rage baited him by doing nothing.
he cannot beat him in a regular
Which, I mean, I guess a rage baiting is technically a manipulation, so...
fight. So instead, he starts slaying entire neighboring villages, takes the evidence of what he did, and sends it directly to Kisui with a message attached that basically says, I'm on my way to Rigan right now, and what I do to your city is going to make this look like nothing. What makes this so cold is that Kanki knew that Kisui's whole entire existence revolves around one thing: protecting his people. There is such a cool moment where, for a few pages, you watch Kisui think about whether he should go back to the city or not, knowing that if he does, he'll basically have thrown the battle. But then, he does. And Kanki manipulation is a success. Without Kisui on that battlefield, everything falls apart. Before any of this happens, Kingdom spends a while showing the abilities of both Kisui and Kisha. It gives you enough information about both of these men that by the time you realize what Kanki is actually doing, you're surprised. But it all makes sense.
You know, this is very good example of a manipulator, like a good manipulator, manipulative character. But I can't stop thinking that this guy looks like Rengoku. That's all I'm currently thinking about. Am I wrong? This guy with eyebrows. Freaking same face. Wait. Wait. Bruh. That just makes it funnier, to be honest.
Kisui's whole entire existence revolves around one thing: protecting his people. There is such a cool moment where, for a few pages, you watch Kisui think about whether he should go back to the city or not, knowing that if
Yeah, getting a message while still having an armor on isn't possible. Isn't possibly effective. I mean, yeah.
he does, he'll basically have thrown the battle. But then, he does. And Kanki manipulation is a success. Without Kisui on that battlefield, everything...
Yeah, definitely not an effective manipulation, but could mess with the mentality of the person. Well, I mean, that's actually true, because I feel like that's actually a good... it's a good way to write a lot of manipulations, because you gotta remember that typically people act emotionally and not rationally most of the time. And I typically judge people whether rational or it's an irrational move that they do.
falls apart. Before any of the...
I mean, I guess I want people to act rationally when it's supposed to be really, really smart people. Like, I expect their decisions to be rational because, well, they're written as the freaking smartest people ever.
This happens. Kingdom spends a while showing the abilities of both Kisui and Kisha. It gives you enough information about both of these men that by the time you realize what Kanki is actually doing, you're surprised. But it all makes sense. There's no last minute...
By the way, I haven't read this anime or manga, but isn't it kind of stupid to just have a battle away from your village which you're trying to protect? Or like if he says he returns to the village, like isn't it an obvious weakness if you're fighting a guy and this guy can just freaking send his troops to attack your home base? Like, I feel like it's tower defense 101. If you're from a city where all of your loved ones live, you gotta defend it mostly. That should be your main defense.
Thing that saves him. This man basically just did his homework, executed, and you get to see his entire thought process. It never feels like the author just decided he was going to win. Everything that happens is a direct result of something that was already established, which is exactly what makes the manipulation feel real. Now listen, I will give Classroom of the Elite its flowers, because the show actually tries to walk you through the thinking. It lays out the steps and even shows you the deduction in real time, which is awesome. The problem is that when you actually sit down and follow the logic, it starts falling apart a little bit. There's this survival test at some point where all the classes are competing against each other. Each class has to assign a leader. That leader is carrying a card that...
Bruh, it would have been better if he used more than just Season 1, because he only talks about Season 1. And there's already 2 more seasons, there's a 4th season of Classroom of the Elite coming out, which has some even way better moments. Goddamn, another code. Well, I mean... Another quote hate. Well, it's the thing is, it's reasonable in the moments like that, like first couple seasons, especially because it's they were the most popular, pretty sure. So I feel like a lot of people had sort of the same thoughts. Like, especially like even in here, he says mostly what I've said in my video, because I feel like a lot of people had just this exact same thought when they watched the season.
They have to hide, and one of the main objectives is figuring out who the leaders are. At one point, Ayanokoji spots a student from a rival class who is just openly displaying his leader card. Ayanokoji looks at this and thinks it's a bluff.
Welcome back, Nate. We're almost done. You didn't miss much.
This guy wants people to think he's the leader. Okay, cool. That's actually a pretty reasonable read. But then comes the deduction. Because from that one observation, Ayanokoji somehow concludes that the real leader is the person standing next to him. Not because that person did anything, but because they were standing next to him. Okay. A real deduction works by eliminating...
Best thing of a code anime is the fan base. You know, I gotta agree with that. I gotta agree. Can't argue with that.
alternatives. You see something, you run through every reasonable explanation, and you land on a conclusion not because it sounds the coolest, but because everything else has already been ruled out. Ayanokoji does not rule out a single thing. He just points at someone and the show goes, yes, that is correct, well done. That is a big problem because a deduction is not impressive when it turned out to be right. It's impressive.
The thing is, you can make a character who just guesses or deducts stuff correctly. Like Sherlock Holmes, most of the time he deduces stuff he's correct. But again, he explains it because he says stuff, and then people around him are like, wait, what? How'd you know that? And he explains it. Typically, in case of Ayanokoji, he just guesses right, and everyone's like, oh.
Because of the reasoning that got you there. And the reasoning here...
You seem a bit lazy when you look back. I guess, yeah. The thing is, like, with Classroom of the Elite, I'm almost 100% sure that when author was writing first several books, he didn't expect them to get as big. Because of that story there, like, the first two seasons are, like, probably the worst. Like, second season is just boring, but it is kind of better manipulation but it doesn't have a lot of Ayanokoji. Fourth season is kinda, I watched at least a couple episodes, it's kinda more engaging. Maybe I need to watch it more. But, like, first two seasons are just meh. Second season is meh because... Second season is better, but meh because there's less Ayanokoji. Fourth season is the best from what I've seen.
Makes no sense. Best manipulative characters make you believe in...
The thing is, I'm gonna say it again. I say it in my every stream, and I say it in my Ayanokoji videos, except for the first one. It's okay to like Ayanokoji and the Classroom of the Elite. There's no wrong. I will not shame you for that, because there's still... I think... In my opinion, there is always a way to love a story or a media or whatever, a book, a series. There's always a reason to like it. It's just the problem with the Classroom of the Elite is that it portrays itself like a very serious, very mature, very intellectual story. And it doesn't deliver there. There's still other things to like it for. Like I said, some people just obsess with Ayanokoji because they think he's hot. And that's I guess one of the ways to like it. But it's just the part, especially in the first two seasons, the part where it's supposed to establish Ayanokoji is the genius, it doesn't exactly deliver, especially if we compare it to some things like Monster, which does it, like, very good. Guys, the novel gave me an explanation to why Ayanokoji is the leader.
Something. Until you realize...
Wait, would you say Season 4, then Season 1, then Season 2? Season 2 is as good as Season 3. I guess, yeah, I can get behind that.
Late, that you are being led the wrong direction the entire time. And not only do they control the characters in their own show, they control you.
Bro got me. I thought my Wi-Fi lagged. Bruh, that was good.
They control you.
That was good. That's a good video. It already got 600k views. I mean, it's a very well put together video, much better than mine. So deserved. Bruh, I feel like it's a little. The information in here is kind of late. Although I guess you can say the same thing for all of my videos. It's just I wish he would have used more examples of Classroom of the Elite, because again, he just used, I think, only stuff from the second season. Yeah, from the boat, which happened in the second season. Forest Island, second season. I feel like it's better. It goes season 1, season 4, season 2, season 3. I mean, season 1, I can see why a lot of people like season 1, because in there, Ayanokoji is not yet insane. Like, he's not yet, besides the moment with the, what was her name, Sakura? The pink hair lady who got stalked. Besides that one incident, Ayanokoji is pretty likable over there, and I can even get behind some of his manipulations, even though they're obviously just very convenient plot devices, but I can ignore that. I guess. I want to read some of the comments. Friendly video idea, how to write an insane character. Sid isn't actually a manipulator. I guess, yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Is Shadow from Eminence in the Shadow, is it actually... I feel like that's not even a... He's not even a manipulator, really. Classroom of the Elite series, they called financial responsibility. Okay, top 3 manipulators. Anime manipulators, the government among us content creators. This is not manipulation, this is... Wait, what?
Manipulation on almost...
Yeah, this is blackmailing, basically. Well, Stockholm Syndrome. Season 1 is really easily the best adaptation. Wait a minute. Is that true? Because half of the comments were saying that book is... The whole anime is a terrible adaptation. Okay. So, there's a few more things I wanted to watch. Just gonna quickly check my Wi-Fi because it's loading. Oh yeah, so. It's the video about Jujutsu Kaisen that I want to see, and it's not loading. My Wi-Fi may be actually busted. It's crazy. Yeah, there. So, it's the thing I talked about in my previous season about Mappa. Because... oh boy, everyone praises them yet again. And in my opinion, I mean, the animation quality is obviously amazing in Jujutsu Kaisen. It's just, I'm struggling to have a good opinion about Mappa, considering all of their previous PR problems, to say the least. Didn't he manipulate the girls in the anime with the John Smith thing? Shadow? I mean... I guess, but in the anime, again, it's not exactly a manipulation because he basically just made something up, and then because it's a comedic thing, it just so happened to be true. Like, he was just acting like a cool guy, and saying there's some whole freaking evil reunion somewhere, which turns people into demons or something, and then it just turns out to be true, but he made that up entirely. It's just convenient truth. Like, I get the joke there. And then the girls started actively building their own organization to find and destroy those villains. But, like, I don't know, not exactly manipulation. Alright, so, I wanted to watch this video, came out 4 days ago. It's about Mappa and the second season of Jujutsu Kaisen, which I kind of wanted to watch. The explanation of season 1. Wait, what? The bald guy... He was holding the card openly while warning to be careful. So, about how Ayanokoji... The thing is, I get what you're saying about how Ayanokoji figured out that the bald guy wasn't actually the owner of the ID card, but it's still not enough. The thing is, what you're explaining is still, like, he was holding her card a certain way, that he was warning the other guy. That's still not enough to say that he just conveniently figured out that this guy wasn't actually the owner of the ID card, because that's just not enough information to go off of. Like, if you saw me IRL, and I was, like, for example, you saw some guy IRL, and he was like, he was saying, like, oh, I am Purple Georgie, and I was next to him, I doubt you'd immediately think, oh, this must be not the actual Purple Georgie. The guy next to him is the anime weeb Purple Georgie who Slander's my favorite Ayanokoji. I doubt that'd be the exact thought process. Same thing with Ayanokoji. I doubt anyone would just look at a guy holding the ID card and like, bruh, he must be not the right owner. Like, no matter how he called it or no matter what he said. Unless he straight up out loud would have said, like, that's not my card, I'm holding it for this guy. Like, if he would have said that, then yeah, sure. Ayanokoji checked the cave later. Bruh, if I remember correctly, in the book, those two guys, the bald guy and the original owner of the ID card, which were walking together, I think they split up from the class in the book, if I remember correctly. And in the book, that's how he narrowed it down, if I remember correctly. But in the anime, that wasn't shown. But still, again, he figured it. If I remember correctly, he also figured out the class split it up because of their own arguments or discussion or something. Like, they got mad at each other. He figured it out after he realized who the leader is. So still something doesn't add up. That's the reasoning shown in the novel. Yeah, but still. Again, first two seasons, even in the novels, they are not too good. Again, they're not enough to make Ayanokoji a believable genius. That's the main problem. Okay, thank you for the likes, guys. 7 people watching me yap about Ayanokoji once again. That's crazy. Bruh, I shouldn't just make a stream where I read the light novels and I comment online. Maybe I should do that. At this point, wouldn't be too much.
Standard of anime. Think what LeBron is to basketball or Disney.
Wait.
Mappa are the gold standard of anime. Think what LeBron is to basketball or Disneyland to amusement parks or Makima to mommies. And there are a ton of great studios out there, and people would debate between which studio was the best, from Toei versus Perry.
Bruh, my opinion, out of the ones that he showed.
Great studios out there, and people would debate between.
Wait. I would say I really like. Well, out of those, I would say I like Ufotable and I like Madhouse. Madhouse is probably my favorite, to be honest.
Between which studio was the best, from Toei vs. Period to Madhouse or.
We all love Ayanokoji, bro. I love Ayanokoji. He's my favorite character because he gave me a near infinite content loop where I can just talk about him. Because we're basically talking about the same things over and over. But it's always entertaining. Like, you people... Like, I like talking about it. Apparently people like watching this, so I'm here for that. Freaking Ayanokoji is my favorite character.
Bones, even fucking Pink Pineapple vs. Bunny Walker. But for a studio to be universally recognized as the GOAT by literally every type of fan is a clear sign that
something fishy is going on here. I mean, come on, guys. It's Japan. It's anime. 100% chance somebody's being worked to death here.
Bro, Madhouse did the Death Note, I just realized. Okay, definitely my favorite animation studio.
I'm so sorry.
But think, despite the fact that everyone knows how terrible a studio they are, it doesn't matter. Because the product is so great.
Yeah, because people don't care. Genuinely. Like, it is interesting pattern, I suppose, because you should, like, everyone kind of feels sad. Many people spoke many times about it, how they feel bad for the anime creators in Japan, like the animators and stuff, but they don't care if the anime looks good. That's unfortunate truth of the world.
Manga is coming to kiss the ring and pray to Daddy Otsuka for a good adaptation.
Bruh, this guy, but Manabu Otsuka, by the way, is such a weird guy, to be honest. I mentioned it in my old video about Mappa and their backstory. He literally, his plan after he became the head of the studio, literally his plan was to just make as many projects as possible, no matter how they come out. Like, he didn't care which shows with Attack on Titan specifically, because it was one of the projects they took after he became CEO. Like, bro didn't care. He just wanted a name for the studio, which, I mean, in a way, I guess he succeeded, so I'm an idiot for freaking criticizing him.
More on this demon later. To put into context how dominant Mappa has been, they produced all of this in just 5 fucking years. Now, for context, it took Severance 4 years to come back. It's been 4 years in between Spider-Verse movies, and it's been 10 years since One Punch Man came out. Truthfully, this video...
Well, in case of One Punch Man, they had problems with Manga, if I remember correctly. Again, comparing American cartoons to Japanese cartoons is incorrect. One Punch Man, if I remember correctly, wasn't getting a season 2 for that long because no studio. It's not like bro, I keep forgetting the terms. There's like a creative committee or whatever in Japan. In the system, which gives money to the studio when it comes to adapting manga. Like, authors of manga have to go to them. They decide if it's worth the money. They give money to studios, and studios make the anime. That's usually how it works. I'm oversimplifying it, but that's basically it. With One Punch Man, people just didn't believe it's gonna be successful, like the second season.
In between Spider-Verse movies, and it's been 10 years since One Punch Man came out. Truthfully, this video was supposed to be a shitpost of Mappa's story, but the more I researched, the more dystopian it felt. So, here's what we have to do. We're gonna dive deep into how Mappa rose to power so quick, and honestly, I went into this thinking it was simply a skill diff. But instead, what I found was a story that watched more like a mobster's uprising with people being backstabbed, corporations conducting dirty business, and you guessed it, billions of dollars worth of malpractice. So let's dive into the beginning of this story with someone who had pure intentions but got hurt the most.
Yeah, Miles Morales trilogy took 9 years to conclude. Yeah, and we're still going. We I think the final Spider-Verse movie comes out next year, right? I'm really excited to see how it goes. I hope they don't mess that up. I hope. I'm praying to so many gods they're not gonna mess this up, because it's Sony, and when it comes to Spider-Man, unfortunately, you never know. So I just hope they make it good.
Masao Maruyama founded Mappa on June 14th, 2011, but that is not where his story starts. Where it really begins is the 60s, where he worked at Mushi Productions, which is where anime really got started, with Astro Boy. You know, the anime all the old heads won't shut the fuck up about, touted as the first anime, and the first to introduce basically every trope in the medium. And Mushi Studios at that time was just known as the leaders of the medium in pretty much every capacity, constantly creating new and creative ways to do things, and literally creating technology in order to bring their visions to reality. So after learning all he could at the birthplace of anime, Maruyama would go on to co-found a little old studio named Madhouse.
I bet you thought I was gonna say Mappa, you fucking idiot. No, Goofy, no, Goofy.
No, I actually knew that because I made a video about the exact same thing a while ago. And then I think the first thing they animated in Mappa was This Corner of the World anime, if I remember correctly, about the Hiroshima Nagasaki incident. Well, like the aftermath of it.
But it is a studio that you should know.
Because I'm pretty sure he left Mappa because Masao Moriyama wasn't getting enough money for This Corner of the World anime.
Studio that produced things like Free Reign and One.
By the way, Georgie, you're incorrect. Anime Kai is down. I'm on the website and it says, sorry, the data center has been burned. We're no longer able to provide... Wait a minute. Can I look it up on stream? Because I feel like YouTube says you cannot show pirated websites and stuff. Can I look it up? I'll look it up on my phone. Animekai.to. That's a different one, I'm guessing. Animekai shut down. Alright, let's talk. I'm gonna be the news channel for a second. Animekai shut down. Hello everyone, we came to you with this very unfortunate news. Due to recent issues with our site, especially with the data center being on fire, the developer has shared that he will no longer be continuing the project. What now? We highly suggest you export your bookmarks, your anime list, so you can have imported to the site, or you can upload it to the anime list, anime account on your anime list, so it's never lost. If somehow something changes, we'll notify you. The community. We have plans to shut down the community. We will always be an anime community at heart. However, with the recent announcement, we must make big plans for the future of the community, so please stay tuned. We will not let this community die. You join our Discord. So I guess they're gonna do something else. I'm reading the Anime Kai subreddit. Well, it sucks, I guess. Because the servers are expensive these days, especially with the fucking RAM getting incredibly expensive. As a result, building service is... even buying or renting servers is a buttload of problems, even for large companies like Steam. So, it kind of sucks. Wait, what? It says chat disconnected. Oh, never mind. Can you guys say something in chat? It said that the chat was disconnected for a second. Hope it's not. Okay. So yeah, well, it sucks, I guess. Well, they say they're gonna do something, so I am guessing. I'm guessing since, like I said, getting a server, renting a server for your website can be problematic. Maybe they're planning on just getting it differently or something. I mean, they can outsource it, I guess. So, well, I don't know exactly. It's hard to tell with this few details, but okay, fair enough, fair enough. I guess I was wrong. Anyway.
Punchman. Don't know what you're sitting there, fat ass, as you're eating your food. No, not even that popular. Nobody knows who does ours. Well, Chunks, calm down. Because Mario...
Bruh,
everyone from the 80s to the 2000s. Hunter Hunter, No Game No Life, Death Note.
Bruh. Oh, Death... Right, No Game No Life is made by Madhouse. Madhouse is definitely my favorite then. Bruh, okay, you can stop.
Mario Amasama? Nah, fuck all that shit. He is him.
Bruh, stop recapping me stuff I already know, like I don't know it.
The worst. Across any industry, there comes a time when companies and creators need outside money in order to bring whatever their thing is to the next level. But then the cycle repeats over and over until your own company isn't even your own company anymore. For example, when the YouTube channel Veritasium sold, they went from making a lot of fun random YouTube videos to super optimized videos that have guaranteed success.
Bruh, he sold out? That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense.
Super optimized videos that have guaranteed success. In other words, it doesn't mean a downgrade in quality, but most of the time it means a downgrade in innovation. In the case of Madhouse, they went from producing a lot of creative films like Perfect Blue and Paprika to very normal and traditional.
Bruh, has anyone seen Paprika in this chat? Because I see it constantly in my recommendations still. Is that good? Because I haven't dared to watch it. But is Paprika any good? What do you guys say?
Traditional anime projects.
8
now,
likes!
for a lot of business execs,
Gasp.
it's
Thank you for 8 likes, Phyllis.
pretty safe to say they only really give a fuck about money. Which, fair enough. Say you got a big manga you want to adapt, or a well-known light novel, or a big-name director, well, that sounds like we're gonna make a whole lot of fucking money to me. But when it comes to those, like, creative experience, you know, that little artsy bullshit y'all got going on over there, we gonna have everyone in the office throw 5, and y'all can see what you come up with. So, pretty safe.
Never heard of it, TBH? Which exactly? What exactly? Never heard of.
The same Madhouse at this point was just being force-fed the most basic adaptations, and after Maruyama saw his kingdom fall, well, and not really fall, they're doing really well even to this day, but Maruyama, he
Not Komari? I haven't watched that one. Maybe I should.
had enough. He set out to start his own company, a company focused on creativity, a company focused on art, a company focused on fair, really fair working conditions.
Bruh, this all sounds very ironic because he's gonna found Mappa. Which, I don't know, probably anything but letting their employees be creative.
And he called it Maruyama Animation Produce.
I am Russian, not that it matters, I feel like.
Project Association, otherwise known as MAPPA. No, not the MAPPA you're thinking of. It's important to remember that getting into the anime industry is incredibly difficult. So it was going to take a lot of time for MAPPA to get the same respect as the other studios from producers, but not artists. When it first got off the ground, it really was living up to the promise of being this hotbed for artsy people to spend a lot of time and money on their artsy bullshit. Like Terror and Renaissance or Resonance, I have no idea how the fuck to say that, Punchline, Garo. These are all, honestly, they're really cool from the little bit I've checked them out. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't check them out that much, but they're there. But you still have to remember, at this point, Maruyama had a seasoned career. And I mean, this guy is literally him. All they needed was one hit. One hit to justify all that experience and claims, and this studio would hang with the best. One anime to prove Maruyama was right. And when that anime came with a title that I think will shock you. The title was Yuri on Ice.
I feel like they were already relatively popular before that. Yuri on Ice was just a big hit. But I guess it brought them to the sun. Bruh, it's shame he didn't mention this corner of the world. Because this was the anime why Masao Moriyama founded MAPPA, essentially. It's really... Wait, or is it? Mike, I made the video about MAPPA a while ago. Now I'm gonna fact check live. I hope I'm not mispronouncing his name. Made MAPPA for... I hope I remember it correctly. If I'm not, I guess I'll have to learn live. There. What does AI say? Yes, Masao Moriyama heavily involved in this corner of the world, 2016, in Studio MAPPA, which he founded in 20... Yeah. Masao Moriyama acted as a producer of the film, supporting Sanao Kutabachi in the long run through multi-year funding. Yeah. So, he founded MAPPA to make this corner of the world because they didn't have enough money, but they still couldn't raise funds even with a single studio, which was supposed to, they were supposed to save money with that, since it was an independent studio and they can focus on the project they actually wanted. But they still couldn't raise funds for this anime. But it's really good. I recommend it. It took them like 6 years to finish it, and it was worth it. Arguably. Bro, maybe I should make a video about that as well. There's so many ideas I have for videos, but I feel like nobody's gonna watch them. I feel like if I make a review of this anime, because I feel like it's pretty significant for MAPPA, and not only the anime itself is pretty good, but it's a really good example of what people are ready to go for to execute their creative vision.
Now, for us young bloods, I gotta let y'all know, old heads, they don't play about Yuri on Ice.
By the way, you know what's funny? A little insight as a Russian. I'm pretty sure this anime was banned recently in Russia, like last couple of years. because the government learned that there's an anime about gays.
It was the first anime to win Anime of the Year at the first ever Crunchyroll Award show, and Yuri on Ice still has one of the biggest.
Bruh, also screw Crunchyroll awards. They freaking. I'm pretty sure they admitted that they don't even watch the animes they're rewarding. Because when they reviewed, they gave awards to Solo Leveling, and people got mad. They later said that they just gave it to. They gave Solo Leveling Anime of the Year because it was the most popular. Like, freaking.
Cool.
I have a feeling, same thing with Yuri on Ice. Yuri on Ice and its release was really popular. I have a feeling that's why they gave him Anime of the Year.
Followings all these years later. And while this seems like everything Mappa needed, instead it turned into Maruyama's worst nightmare. Because with all of his prior achievements and success, once he achieved independent success, they basically got so much inbound that the objective correct decision for anyone with a fucking brain to make was get investment and scale and become one of the biggest animation studios in the game. So what do you think Maruyama did? A, take the money. B, reject the money. C, ask for a different amount of money. Or D, kill all capitalists and fucking blow up the universe. Well, the answer is actually E. Leave your own company again. Maruyama saw the path Mappa was going on, and he just said, "This ain't me. I'm not doing this fucking bullshit again."
By the way, something I should mention.
We don't, to be honest, we don't exactly know why Masao Maruyama has left Mappa. Because exactly after he left, Manabu Otsuka became CEO, and the anime started, like, incredibly after that, right away, the studio started facing protests of animators one after another. So clearly, a lot of workspace has shifted into, like, less fair area. Like, I have a feeling there might have been something behind the curtains. There might have been some creative decisions or something which we don't know of, because it's kind of sketchy looking back at it.
Is this guy's in like his 70s doing this shit? He's really on like some fucking syphilis type shit. That's my fucking go. Someone must imagine syphilis happy. Fuck syphilis. Maruyama would get that fucking rock over the hill because he's the fucking goat.
But as much as I'd like to say Maruyama leaving would be the downfall of Mappa, well, for one, no fucking shit, that's not the case. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a fucking video.
Well, okay, to be honest, what do you guys think, chat? Does it even matter? Should we, as the viewers, even care for the animators struggling or whatnot? Because we get all this amazing content. Like, Mappa's animation, ever since Masao Maruyama left, like, it struggled a bit with Attack on Titan and shit, where they couldn't make a decent schedule. With Chainsaw Man, where they had to build a whole new studios just so the whole new building for the team that animated Chainsaw Man, so they stopped protesting in the media and like stopped talking about how badly Mappa treats them. But we gotta admit that we still gotta recognize the truth. Mappa gave us so much anime with pretty decent quality so fast. So as the viewer, should we even care? Like, I still feel bad for the animators, obviously. But right now, they all signed contracts after the situation with Attack on Titan. They all signed contracts where it's basically alternative of cease and desist, or whatever it's called, where you can speak of working conditions in the studio, or you're fired, basically, or you're sued. So we won't ever know what's happening there. So all we can do is enjoy the anime, I feel like, because freaking Rez's arc was beautiful as hell. So
The company got handed over to Manabu Otsuka, who has notoriously complained that Yuri on Ice didn't make a fucking profit. Yes, our goat is definitely gone. Now, Manabu's fucking bitch ass been riding our goat's coattails for as long as I can remember. He was with them at Madhouse during their run, and for whatever reason, our goat, so gracious, brought him on as co-founder of Mappa, and the entire fucking...
Well, the thing is, Manabu Otsuka also has skeletons in the closet. The thing is, Manabu Otsuka probably has skeletons in the closet. I feel like he is similar to Tim Cook, who just recently stopped being the CEO of Apple. Like, it's the kind of managers that care about the profit. They just want to maximize the profit no matter the cost. Because, like, iPhone was doing incredibly non-creative decisions for the last, like, decade. They were playing it incredibly safely, barely altering the design of every new iPhone, but it was making them a shit ton of money because people apparently like buying the same iPhone. And if people like buying the same iPhone, why would they change it that much? Same thing with Manabu Otsuka. If people want to get anime as fast as possible and as beautiful as possible, why treat your workers correctly? Why treat your workers with respect? If in the end you get a shit ton of money and a recognition, which he did get in the end. MAPPA is really successful and a really popular studio. So, like, capitalism, apparently.
Time he wanted to scale, which really doesn't make any fucking sense why our goat would bring this fucking asshole in. Our goat would go, yo, let's make a movie on a pencil going back in time to kill Hitler. And Manabu's punk ass would be like, how are we gonna scale the business and make profits? Like, we're artists, not accountants. And also, you look like Mickey Mouse with those giant fucking ears. Anyways, this demon started taking every opportunity he could. In 2017, Mappa picked up Inuyashiki and Kakigiri. These are two anime that kind of make some noise, but nothing insane. But then, in 2018, they picked up Banana Fish, Zombie Lawn Saga, and a place further than the universe.
If it's as bad as the memes, there's gotta be a breaking point. They might not recover. I'm pretty sure it already happened a while ago. Wait. Let me show you something. Where was that video about? There. So I made a recent, I made a video which nobody cared about, but there was a certain moment where one of the animators in MAPPA almost fucking died due to exhaustion, and right here, there. So she ended up in the hospital, and I was so scared of this that I couldn't go to the hospital. She reflects on the fear within the industry that seeks the medical attention because the studio wouldn't pay for her medical services. So they literally worked one of the animators to a freaking bed in the hospital, and she had to pay for it herself. If I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. There's unfortunately not a lot of information on this, like I said, because, well, they signed the new contracts, and according to new contracts, we will never know what's happening in MAPPA. Like, Japanese working conditions are inhumane, yeah? Yeah. That's one of the reasons I say we should not compare animation industry in America and in Japan. In Japan, you will be working 12 hours a day, 100 hours a week, if the studio wants you to. And there's no shit you can do about it. They have, like, the protection services or whatever. But, from what I understand, there's also the, the social construct, so to speak. Because, in the studio, you're, you often... in Japan, when you get a work, you're supposed to stick there to the end, basically. You're supposed to work there your whole life, because that's the... Like, everyone does it, so you does it as well, basically. Like, if you don't do that, that's... You're disowning yourself. So the same thing with MAPPA. They're, I feel like they know that it's really difficult for their animators to leave the studio. I think some of them left when there was a situation with, like, Attack on Titan where it was really BS schedule involved. But this one particularly, I still remember, and, like, Jesus Christ. Because the studio tried, shortly after that, implement new contracts. Where they would basically won't allow anyone to speak on Twitter about this any longer. So, yeah.
Some of which...
That's worse than American healthcare brand, for real.
To this day have the most, diehard and low-key performative fan bases in anime. I'm looking at you, Banana Fish. Jokes aside. I wasn't joking. Banana Fish is looked at by enthusiasts as one of the greatest anime to never get that much attention. I mean, it has an 8.5 on Mao.
I first time seeing this anime, so that's fair.
But while MAPPA is having that success, and they are still running Maruyama strats and making deeply creative projects, another anime came out that I think it's safe to say completely changed how anime was viewed around the world.
Bruh, it changed the way how freaking anime comes out. Does anyone remember how Attack on Titan final season came out? I talked about it on my previous stream when I was rating it on my anime list. It was shit. Final season, second part of final season, final arc, part 1, finale, part 2, final movie. What the shit was that? And the worst part, they didn't announce which part is gonna be the final until they all came out. Like, I still can't recover from that. Watching that was shit, especially when I got into Attack on Titan relatively late, and I watched, like, first 2 seasons overnight.
Still a long way to go, but we've made progress.
Attack on Titan is the most overhated anime of all time. Well, I don't know if it's the most overhated, but the finale definitely... A lot of people definitely were angry after the finale. Like, a lot of people switched on that anime after the finale.
Every battle we lost taught us a lesson. Gave us the tiniest inroad towards something like hope.
Attack on Titan in the 2010s makes what JJK and Demon Slayer are doing now look like fucking child's play. Yeah, the numbers are bigger on JJK and Demon Slayer, but this is from a post-COVID era. Pre-anime Great Awakening, AOT was putting these numbers up in an era where...
Well, the thing is, unlike Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan actually had, like, a lot of, like, a really good plot and a lot of mysteries, which we're building up to. In Jujutsu Kaisen, I feel like there's not that many mysteries where you, like, oh, overrated. Well, Attack on Titan is the most overrated anime. I feel like that's also not true. Overrated of all time. Well, for starters, there's Darling in the Franxx. I don't know what's more overrated than that.
all people thought anime was just fucking hentai.
Which, honestly, for the time, it was kind of true. Even some of the shonen had a lot more freaky stuff in it than they do now. But still, Attack on Titan was one of the first...
Bruh, don't diss on that Naruto.
Some of the shonen had
That
a lot more
Naruto technique freaking allowed them to beat up a goddess.
than they do now.
Don't you dare.
But still, Attack on Titan was one of the first anime to get really major mainstream attention. And it completely propelled Wit Studio as well. I mean, they went on to animate Vinland Saga, and now they're animating Spy X Family, and they're gonna do the One Piece remake. So for Attack on Titan to be their breakout...
Bruh, One Piece remake, I still can't. For the love of God. Did you know that they're planning to reanimate first 500 episodes of One Piece?
And they're gonna do the One Piece...
While One Piece is not even finished. So first 500 episodes, they're gonna remake it. And that's at the same time while the anime still is ongoing. While the books are still ongoing. And while live action is still ongoing. Freaking One Piece.
remake.
Although when it comes out, I'm gonna binge it.
So for Attack on Titan to be their breakout on something that...
I never watched Darling in the Franxx, bruh. Don't watch it. It's a good. You're the lucky one.
It's not like your traditional shonen. It just goes to show that one, Attack on Titan is a banger, and two, they absolutely knocked it out of the fucking park. Anime conventions were filled with this shit. Athletes were tweeting about it. There were full-on stadiums selling out of concerts of the OST. It became the anime where it's like, I don't watch anime, but I watch Attack on Titan. But if you look at the Attack on Titan release schedule, you will notice a 4-year gap in between seasons.
Now remember, Japan is filled with some of the most hungry and ruthless capitalists you can imagine. So what the fuck
Fair.
could have been the circumstances to cause a 4-year delay in their cash cow that was a golden ticket to the West? Now I'm sure if I gave you 52 guesses as to what caused the delays and why they backed out, it'd probably only take you 3 to 4.
By the way, since we're on the topic of the money, did you guys realize there's no mid-rolls on the stream? Because a lot of people complained on the previous stream, well, rightfully, that there's a lot of mid-rolls. I turned off them. I realized that if I just turn off monetization for the stream, the mid-rolls will still show up. I just won't get any money from them. I think so, at least. So I made mid-rolls so that they only appear if I press for them to appear. So there shouldn't be any mid-rolls on the stream. I hope you guys enjoy it, because it took me a while to get it, and I hope it's a better watch right now.
Because it was production issue.
I remember Darling in the Franxx, the alien reveal twist was not what I was expecting. Bruh, the whole anime is not what I was expecting when I watched it. It's a freaking rip-off of Evangelion with probably the dumbest love story I've ever seen, to be honest. I feel like even Rent a Girlfriend compared to Darling in the Franxx is freaking Romeo and Juliet. That's how horrible love story was there. Eren is a mediocre protagonist at best. I mean, Eren was pretty good at first. It's just the build-up was really good, and the payoff not that much. It feels like that's my take.
The first season of Attack on Titan was 25 episodes, and it came out in 2013, and at that point they adapted chapters at a rate of 1.3 to 2 chapters per episode, which I just want to note, this is completely fucking unheard of at the time. At this point, One Piece and Naruto were adapting at a rate of like 0.4 per episode, but although 34 chapters in one season is, one, pretty fucking sick, what's not pretty fucking sick is the fact that there were only 50 chapters available, so they needed to go on a bit of a break in that time, while the manga got ahead, so they would have enough chapters to adapt. But here's the thing,
bro, I am so glad they did that, because so many anime had the similar issue when they ran out of manga, like Full Metal Alchemist, for example, and they just started making shit up. So, because there's like two ways you can progress in anime and still work on it if there's not enough manga. One, you just come up with your own stuff, which I feel like is not that good, because even Full Metal Alchemist was not that good, and Brotherhood was like so much better once the manga came out. And second option is what they did to One Piece, where they just stretch every episode so that they can keep making them as soon as one chapter came out. Like each chapter, I think One Piece like last 500 episodes, it's literally one chapter, one episode. Which is freaking diabolical. Because spacing goes straight out of the freaking window.
we completely blew up from season 1 of Attack on Titan. I mean, everyone was at their door trying to get them to adapt projects. And
Attack on Titan is easily the best adaptation I've ever seen. I guess yay, right? It's really accurate to manga, yay. I haven't read Attack on Titan manga, but I've heard it multiple times, and I mean, I guess the ending, I've heard the ending, they changed a little bit in the way that it's better, but it still wasn't massively hated. So, I don't know.
projects they chose were a little strange. In 2015, they dropped an original anime called The Rolling Girls, as well as what was an anticipated shonen called Seraph of the End. Then in 2016, they dropped what was supposed to be another AOT level anime called Kabanari of the Iron Fortress, which was honestly pretty good. It was meant to be like this steampunk AOT, and it has a light novel, manga, and they made a movie on it. But despite being cool,
Wait, they made a movie on it? I didn't know that.
AOT, and it has a light novel, manga, and they made a movie on it.
Well, I need to watch that.
But despite being cool, it didn't have the cultural impact they were gunning for. And they were really on the Kabanari train. They claimed they were making a new form of action entertainment. Something they put emphasis on was that they put a significant amount of resources and effort into it. Brother, you just made Attack on Titan. Why are you trying to do... Why?
Well, most of the studio, to explain why... Most of the studio in our capital's world, for some reason, I don't exactly understand it, but that's literally how that works. Around the world, one studio made a profit, studio, company, you name it. They always want the next year or quarter to have even bigger profit. Even if their previous success was freaking huge. That's actually why a lot of companies at the moment... firing workers to replace them with AI, because that's an easy way they can cut on spendings and increase the their budgets and the money they get, because you don't need to pay people anymore. Even if AI doesn't do their job as good as it should be for the receiving end, like the customers, they still would do it because their yearly profits are going to be the same. You can show that graph to shareholders. The shareholders are going to give you more budget for the next thing you want to do. Same thing with anime. Like I was saying, there is a... Like, when companies that typically throw in budgets to the studio so they can make an adaptation of something, they need to be sure that you will do that. And a very good argument in that discussion is typically like when you pitch an anime adaptation you want to try. A really good, like, if you're an author and you're trying to convince the, like, people with money to give you money on your adaptation, typically the good example is like, look, I'm gonna invest in this studio, I'm gonna give it to this studio, look how much money they're making. If the studio makes adaptation of my manga, it's definitely gonna succeed because, look, like, the anime, the random anime they've made before, even though it wasn't popular, it still really succeeded. So, unfortunately, that's how it is. In the capitalist society, we always need more and more money. No matter what. Apparently, that's how it works. Unfortunately, I would say it's illogical, because you can't go forever. You can always strive to make more money, but that's how it is.
Like, why would you do that? Like, there is times when you should dare to be great and dare to be creative, and there's other times where you should dare to be financially fucking responsible. This was one of those times. I would have gone up to the mangaka of AOT Isayama and been like, hey man, how you feel about an Attack on Titan series, but instead of killing titans, it's a filler where we kill zombies? At least then they would have been able to make a bag. But long story short, they were trying to break out of being known as the AOT studio, partly because nobody would want to be pigeonholed into anything, and second, because the season...
I have a feeling Wit didn't want to do the Attack on Titan because, if I remember correctly, the only reason why Mappa was able to like, agreed to Attack on Titan is because they agreed to the most insane schedule possible. Like, one of the reasons they were freaking making part 2 of the finale, part 1 of the finale, final movie, all that stretching of the ending, is because the schedule was freaking, like, obscene. It was horrible. But they agreed to it because, like, no one else was agreeing to that. And that way they could have get more popularity.
One production of Attack on Titan was such a living nightmare for the production team. They were saying that they were always behind schedule. They were chasing episode to episode.
Yeah, that. Because Attack on Titan manga was incredibly successful, so everyone wanted, like, everyone who invested wanted the anime to be made as fast as possible so they can get their money.
Deadlines, and overall, it was hell. So, they're taking out of that!
Wow, I forgot, bruh. Wow, I forgot Attack on Titan had a live-action version. I forgot as well. Bruh, you just unlocked a memory in my head. Jesus Christ. And I remember it being so shit because there was a political message at the end of Attack on Titan version. Where they were bashing on Chinese government. Bro, I need to rewatch that. I mean, maybe it will make a good video.
Hell with fucking Kabanari Fortress! That's what they thought! Kabanari of the Iron fucking Fortress was gonna save them from these scary producers. What? I'm sorry. I've been dunking on Kabanari this entire video. If this video gets 10k likes, I will make a video on Kabanari Fortress. I do not want to make a video on Kabanari with the Iron fucking Fortress.
I want a video on Kabanari Fortress.
Crazy. But over the course of season 2 and 3, despite them having some of the most iconic scenes in anime history to this day, we're still not super happy with the project, because when the prep meeting started for season 4, it seemed like a completely new scale, a new direction, and one of the most anticipated moments in anime and manga history. Wit had the opportunity to go to the next level. Wit had the opportunity to become the next Ghibli. Wit said, fuck that shit. No, we're not doing that.
No. I actually really fuck with this type of energy. If you look at all their quotes, they're like, we are insanely proud of our work. We know we have created something extremely revolutionary. Also, we are never fucking doing that shit again. Just know, the Attack on Titan final season, like, pre-planning looked so insane that not only did Wit say fuck no, every other major
Yeah, exactly. It was freaking shit.
studio said no, because who would accept something that had so much pressure?
Mappa did. Mappa accepted it.
Who would accept something that had such tight deadlines? Who would accept something that needed to be perfect? Everyone said no. Except one group of people.
Now, this is not a surprise that Supreme Leader Mananabu would jump at the opportunity to make money and work his employees to the bone, especially on the most anticipated media in the Asian world. But I would like to remind everyone that the negotiations and production of this anime all went down in 2019. Now, if you thought making the final season of Attack on Titan on impossible deadlines was a hard enough ask, can you imagine what it would be like to not only make that, but also make the biggest shonen of the modern era at the same time?
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot. They freaking... They accepted freaking, Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Chainsaw Man all at once. I don't think they started working on Chainsaw Man right away, but they accepted it. Bruh. Bro, you're gonna freaking get demonetized. It's starting so many songs from openings.
It's safe to say that MAPPA went from that little fucking studio nobody knows about to the biggest name in the industry that anybody can talk about. And once again, reinforcing, it's not what you know, it's who you know. You see, MAPPA is buddy-buddy with the people at Shueisha. These are the people who run most of the IP in Shonen Jump, and they run most of the production committees to decide which studios to pitch certain adaptations to. For this, there was no pitch. The people at MAPPA, who undoubtedly use our GOAT Maruyama's connections, got the spot for Jujutsu Kaisen with zero competition. One of the most anticipated manga adaptations ever just went straight to MAPPA. Now, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge, despite the horrible working conditions, which we will get into, we should take a moment to mention they absolutely crushed it on this project. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1 had a level of sauce that's...
Well... No. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1 was solid. But I wouldn't say it's perfect. Come on. Even...
really...
in terms of quality, obviously. Like, even in this... in the clips that he shows, the background occasionally was just ass. Like, come on. Wait, I want to look up for clips just so I didn't get banned. Wait. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1. Season 1. Fight. I'm not sure if I can show the full thing. Yeah, there. Look at this. Are you telling me this is... I feel like crazy multitasking skills, for real. Like, the backgrounds were... they were, like, hyper detailed. That's the stuff they were going for. But I wouldn't say they did it perfectly. Like, because look at the animation, like, the characters, which are less detailed. And the freaking background. Like, that just looks weird. Also, the whole anime has this, like, blurry TikTok filter. I feel like... Okay, that's the flashback. But, yeah, the whole... It feels slightly blurry. Like, the slight freaking blur effect. Which I feel like was supposed to hide the difference between the backgrounds and the characters. Like, look at this. I wouldn't say they perfectly did it. They did a good job, but I wouldn't say it's perfect. It's clearly there were production issues.
only comparable to Demon Slayer, and the fact that within 2 months Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan dropped with art styles that honestly had not been replicated at that point. Attack on Titan final season felt like it single-handedly pushed camera work and directing in the medium of anime as a whole. This shot of Eren getting pierced by the Jizz Titan is ingrained in my mind. It looks like the Eiffel Tower poking through the city as everyone is running around. And while Attack on Titan is shattering every view record, Gojo has introduced the world to the term husbando, becoming the most thirsted after male character since...
Oh, trust me, I know. How I figured it the hard way when I freaking criticized Gojo a little bit. Where was that? A little bit criticized him on one video, and there was so many comments I had to make a part 2 where I just answered to them. Trust me, I know, bruh.
Honestly, probably since Shrek. All the while, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1 went on to win 6 Crunchyroll awards, with one of them being anime.
Which, again, I feel like they gave to Jujutsu Kaisen because it was the most popular anime at the time. Well, again, is anime of the year implies best protagonist. Is the best anime of the year just implies that it's the most popular? Because I feel like best anime, that's not what it means. Also, best protagonist. Who else was best protagonist at the time? Yuji was not that good in Season 1. He was good, but I feel like... Well, I don't know what were the other nominees. But I feel like... No. Before Gojo, there was Levi, especially in the cartoon. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Freaking everyone was obsessed with Levi. Well, rightfully so.
The year, and boom, COVID boom happens, and it's in full effect. Anime is the coolest thing on the planet, and MAPPA has become one of the only anime studios that most casual fans even know. So of course,
you know why? Because they worked despite everything. They didn't care. They didn't care about freaking COVID. They were still working, even in the COVID pandemic. I'm pretty sure on the same schedule.
Given all that success, given all the momentum they had, it would only make sense that...
I never watched Jujutsu Kaisen. Is it even good? It's fairly good. I would say the fight scenes for sure are really good. It's like I would say Naruto level of fight scenes, because if you watch Naruto, even Boruto, the fight scenes are always top tier. Same thing in Jujutsu Kaisen, the fight scenes are always like eye-catching, memorable, really well choreographed and well animated. The story, though, yeah, it's meh for me. The story is kinda meh. It takes a while to develop. Like, it takes a whole 2 seasons and a backstory movie to figure out what exactly is going on there. Because in Season 1, it's barely explained. There's not really... Like, you know who's the bad guy? You don't know why they're doing it? What exactly is their plan anyway? They're just doing shit. And the good guys are fighting the bad guys because they're the bad guys, basically. That's the level of storytelling in Season 1.
MAPPA would go on to...
But I mean, Jujutsu Kaisen copies the author of Jujutsu Kaisen, Gege. He admitted in the interview that he took Naruto, Hunter x Hunter, and Bleach, and he just combined stuff that he liked from there in one anime. And you can see that even in the designs, which he freaking copied. Like, design of Gojo, if I remember correctly, he just copied from Darker Than Black anime. There's literally a character in Darker Than Black that looks like Gojo. Again, I'm gonna fact check that because I'm pretty sure. I want to double check. Bruh. I don't think I'll be able to find it right now. There was this anime called Darker Than Black. Came out in 2010. And there was a character that literally looks like Gojo. Like a side character. Who shows up for like one scene. And it's literally... Like, bro.
is shattering every view record, Gojo has introduced the world to the term husbando, becoming the most thirsted after male character since,
Wait, did I?
honestly, probably videos that most casual crimes against humanity. MAPPA forced their team to make a Jujutsu Kaisen movie with some of the best animation in the industry in just 4 months. At the same time as AOT and JJK Season 1. Reminder, it is taking them over 4 years in between Spider-Verse movies. And they made this in 4 months.
I mean, it does make Gege a fun, which made it to an anime. Like, he made his fanfic into an anime, essentially. So...
But what ended up being the worst fact of all is that the movie fucking slaps.
Well, again, the plot-wise, nah. Jujutsu Kaisen 0 is based on a one-shot story which Gege wrote before JJK, before like JJK was even planned. He wrote this, and later the publisher convinced him to make it a prequel. He slightly changed it, but it really shows that it's narratively it's not that. Like even Gojo in Jujutsu Kaisen 0 is not even the strongest. He's like strong, but like nobody is fearing him like the guy who can freaking destroy the world. And even in the case of Miguel, I feel like Gojo that was in Jujutsu Kaisen 1, like one season, he would just one-shot Miguel.
You see, JJK Zero was so rushed because it was coming out on Christmas Eve in Japan, and they needed to capitalize on the holiday market. And something to note is another big shonen just dropped. What was the highest earning anime movie of all time 8 months prior, and the expectations were pretty high. But what animator Honhon revealed is that the movie ended up causing a domino effect, leading to MAPPA animators contemplating suicide, publicly fighting against the company, and outright becoming the most overworked people in the history of animation. And this is all because when they turned in JJK Zero for review, the staff was like, holy fucking shit, this is amazing. We gave you poor fucking 4 months. 4 months, and you made a whole fucking movie. Like, y'all really good at what you do. Y'all really different. Y'all deserve to have 2 months on the next one. Now, there is so many quotes from the staff indicating that this single event of them realizing that they could push their staff to this limit created one of the darkest points in the history of the company that is honestly still going on because the workload doesn't slow down. It 20x's. In 2022, MAPPA dropped Chainsaw Man. And the crazy thing about this story of how they got Chainsaw Man is that they were so badly dying to put their workers to death that they offered Shueisha a one-of-a-kind bid for Chainsaw Man, and I want to take you to know before I tell you the bid.
This is genuinely unforgivable. Well, I guess you can say that.
This is at a point where Chainsaw Man manga has like some steam, but it's not even that crazy yet. But in this bid, MAPPA put all of the money forward. They took the entire financial risk for this project so they could get full creative control. That is unheard of in the anime industry. And that same year, they also started producing Vinland Saga. Just note, they started producing Vinland Saga at Season 2 because in a similar situation to AOT, Wit was creating Vinland Saga Season 1 and they were struggling so much internally that the production committee pulled it from them and was like, go take your fucking break, you artsy bullshit fuckers. We have MAPPA, and MAPPA is going to do it, and they're going to do it better. I actually disagree. I think Wit's version was better, but they thought MAPPA was going to do it better, and I think a lot of people think MAPPA's is better. In that same year, they also picked up Hell's Paradise. Now, this is somewhat of a dual production between...
Bruh. Anyone in chat has seen Hell's Paradise? Because it's one of those anime I legitimately don't understand why it's popular.
MAPPA and this company called
It's legitimately not that good.
Twin Engine, but for the most part, all of the creative is left on MAPPA, and we'll get into it later, but Hell's Paradise is also like this fucking middle child of MAPPA that everyone ignores and nobody gives a shit about.
Rightfully so, because it's... well, it's not shit exactly, but it's pretty mid.
And it's also one of the best animated anime out there right now.
Bruh.
Yes, and it's considered mid for MAPPA standards. But
Because it is.
you see, although they were picking up all these shows, most casual anime fans had no idea what was going on until what I think was the biggest moment in anime history post.
So being mappa animator is simply being well, I mean, basically, yeah, working for mappa, you basically become a mandatory volunteer who is getting paid, but you can't exactly leave, because in Japan, when you leave a company that you work, like, it's considered a norm to work for one company your entire life and be loyal to that company. You can speak about your working conditions in the media, because you'll get sued or fired. Most likely fired and sued. And you just gotta work with whatever schedule they come up with. And as it's already been proven again and again, they agree to the harshest schedules because they want to release anime as fast as possible, and they want to make it look as good as possible because it's like makes them famous and makes them a lot of money. So basically, yeah, being a mappa animator is a pretty problematic. It's possibly the worst example of the, like, working conditions in the anime industry. I don't know a studio that wasn't so many scandals in just a couple of years. So
2020, and I know that's like exaggeration and everything, but I think this was the moment where everyone realized that anime wasn't a trend. Like, anime isn't like mainstream. Like, anime is the culture.
Well, no, I gotta disagree. Jujutsu Kaisen got really popular, but I don't think all the Jujutsu Kaisen fans. Jujutsu Kaisen got what was the most popular anime at some point. Like, freaking, like it got almost to the level of Attack on Titan, where the whole world, different countries were talking about it. But even the meme where Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen fans can't read like this. This was for a reason, let's be honest, because a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen fans, they freaking watch it on TikTok, and then they think they know the anime. Like, they watch the manga leaks, they believe in fake manga leaks. So no. People definitely didn't get into the anime, like, culture. By the way, can you watch an anime or read manga in live? So there's a copyright issue. I thought about it, to be honest. Like, I thought of doing an anime stream on Twitch or on Kick, or I just watch an anime and I react to it live. I can read manga, but I feel like it's just gonna be really boring if I read Classroom of the Elite manga. Maybe I can find a good audiobook version which I can listen to. Possibly that can be a good idea. Watching anime, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure on if I watch it on Twitch, they would just ban me for copyright reasons. On Kick, maybe, but I feel like like if they don't ban me live, they'll ban me afterwards. Watch Redo of the Healer, bruh. I watched Redo of the Healer. I'm definitely not doing it on stream. Bruh. Hot take, Redo of the Healer. Better plot than Jujutsu Kaisen.
That makes me glad.
Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 was undoubtedly one of the biggest moments in anime history. You could argue it was the biggest moment in anime history. Every single fight from JJK was going completely viral. Mainstream outlets were tweeting about it. There's been some iconic quotes from this era that we need to get into, such as animators saying they were all...
Yeah, manga was just a distraction, not gonna lie. Main question was about Detective Conan, since I enjoy it and I enjoy your content. Thank you so much, by the way. So yeah, watching you watch it might be good. I've heard of Detective Conan so many times, to be honest. And maybe I should like watch it for real, because I've never actually seen even clips. I guess I'll put it on my... I've got a list on my phone where it's like anime I want to watch. I'll put Detective Conan there. 10 likes! Thank you so much, by the way.
only able to achieve 30% of their creative vision with JJK Season 2. This was just a fraction of their power. Like, brother, what? At the same time, there was an animator that tweeted out about being battle, and they got his ass in 15 minutes. Like, in 15 minutes,
Wait, what?
30% of their creative vision with JJK Season 2. Here's in anime history. Every single fight from JJK was going completely viral. Mainstream outlets were tweeting about it. There's been some iconic quotes from this era that we need to get into, such as animators saying they were only able to achieve 30% of their creative vision with JJK Season 2. This was just a fraction of...
That statement, I think, was about Fight with Maharaga, not the entire season. Because Fight with Maharaga was incredibly rushed, the episode where they fight Dagon, and then Maharaga shows up. That's where the cracks really started showing for Mappa. Which, again, shows up, well, they had to freaking re-release Fight with Maharaga, like, that episode, in theaters afterwards, because they realized how shit it was. Like, if you watch the original fight, that, like, not the Blu-ray version, that is almost everywhere right now, where Sukuna fights Maharaga, there's legitimately, like, blurry images going, you don't know what's going on. Again, I was talking, if you guys want to know more after the stream, you feel free to watch this video. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 is going to be awkward. I recap there all the issues with production on Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, and I suspected that some of them are going to be transferred to Season 3, but the thing is, we will never know. We'll never know right now because of the contracts Mappa has. So if there was any production issues, we'll never know.
30%.
Jumping of Mahito caught my attention like many. Fair. I watched the fight in the car. You mean you watched the fight that happened in the car? Or you were in the car?
Of their creative...
I mean, I guess if you watch Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, like the original version on smartphone, it's alright. But, well, again, still, Fight with Dagon original version, incredibly slow. Freaking, it was not the Blue Lock level, but it was definitely One Punch Man level. The One Punch Man Season 3 level of animation.
Vision with JJK Season 2. This was just a fraction of their power. Like, brother, what? At the same time, there was an animator that tweeted out about being battle, and they got his ass in 15 minutes. Like, in 15 minutes, they made him delete his
Wait, I haven't seen
which
that.
is, like, fucked up, but also, like, do they have CIA-level power? What is going on?
No, they just watch, like, it's probably like not an HR, but something like that follows all the accounts of their animators on social media, so they knew.
Here. There was also a slew of animators that came out talking about how tightly locked the NDAs for Almappa are compared to other animation companies. One employee even said, "I have nothing to lose, so if you're gonna sue me for complaining, I will take it." I don't know why.
Oh, actually, I don't know what happened to this guy. I remember that was after the release of Attack on Titan. And he said that he's gonna reveal, and I think from him, we learned about, from this guy, he posted the NDAs online. Bro couldn't even die peacefully. Well, nobody died. They did it. No one died from what we know from Mappa animators. But I don't know what happened to this guy. I remember him posting the NDA. I'm pretty sure, and he said he's gonna do more, and that's it. I don't remember anything happening. So maybe he got sued for real.
For what fucking reason? I read this in Deca Voice. Like, I hate to break it to bro, Japanese companies have been abusing their workers since, like, before electricity was invented. You think they give a fuck about you complaining? Some other big news that...
No, they definitely care. As much as people think that bashing at companies is useless because they don't care, they do care. For sure. They will act like they don't care because they got his... I mean, probably, I can imagine. Something definitely happened because I don't remember any more news about this guy. Like, big studios, especially Japanese studios, care because for it's a reputation, and they wouldn't have given such strict NDAs if they didn't care. So they care for sure. But it's just they still need to maintain a face, obviously, so they would act like it's not a problem.
Appa obviously doesn't give a fuck about is that it came apparent that they pay their employees literally minimum wage for all their work. But to make matters even worse, Hakuto Samada, one of the main directors of JJK season 2, he was hospitalized from
Yeah, that. That's what it's.
circumstances created by the working conditions. And then he put out a statement saying it was entirely his fault and Mappa had nothing to do with this. Like, what in the fucking North Korea is going on? And what made...
Well, you gotta understand, he's still gonna return to that company. He couldn't directly, well, he did say it, but he kind of backed down because he's still gonna work there. And he was directing episodes, so he was not just an animator. If I remember correctly. He was not just an animator, he was directing episodes, and like he's like he was animator, but I don't remember how it works exactly. He was like a manager, but he was animating either storyboards or something like that. And you're still gonna go back to that company, so you can't be 100% harsh because you're still gonna work with those people, obviously. So again, unfortunately, that's how it is. That's how the market runs.
Circumstances created by the working conditions. And then he put out a statement saying it was entirely his fault and Mappa had
just yapping to gain XP. Well, you're top 3 still.
nothing to do.
I don't know how Lord Drixus is top 1. To be honest, well, I guess he was. We were talking a lot about Ayanokoji, right? Or what?
Do with this. Like,
Good luck.
what in the
Good luck with that.
fucking North Korea is
Like you were on my previous streams, right? Drixus. That's why. I'm pretty sure.
going on? And what made this even worse is that Manabu, that fucking bum, put out a statement saying the reason they work this hard is so they can catch up to Kyoto Animations and UFO Table. This is where this thing goes from stupid to absurd. If you don't know Kyoto Animations, it's the studio behind Asylum Voice, Violet Evergarden, Clannad, and a bunch more. And the second is UFO Table, who are known for Fate and, of course, Demon Slayer. But both of these companies, while being the gold standard, are also known to be companies that treat their employees well and are places animators generally want to work. So why the hell is Anime Stalin trying to turn his arm
Well, but they don't release it as fast. You gotta admit. I as a Slavic person, by the way, I approve of this photo.
me into a bunch of Hakuna Matata artists, especially when you consider the fact that although the MAPPA employees are being pushed to the absolute brink, the anime at least, they go hard. The bar has been pushed so high by these
First time watching? That's crazy.
guys out. Like, what is a moment has been completely redefined. If Freerun takes 2 years to come back and it's just not like the same thing anymore. Chainsaw Man Reze, in my opinion,
In case of Freerun, by the way, if I remember correctly, they started working on second season before they even released the first one, because they had budget approved for like 40 plus episodes or something.
was just
So because of that, there was such a short amount of time between first and second season.
levels above Infinity Castle. They put
Violet, bruh, you know what's crazy? Violet Evergarden. Everyone I talk to about it, they said it's great, and I still haven't seen it. I had it on my list forever, like since I was in middle school, and I still haven't watched it. I think it's about letters or something. I somehow wasn't even spoiled yet. That's insane. I know it's something about letters. I think Violet, the girl, like the blonde girl, she doesn't have arms or something. She has like prosthetic arms.
the perspective
Bruh, I need to watch it.
how special what MAPPA did with Chainsaw Man was. Like,
Bruh, if there's any millionaires in the chat, donate me so I can take a day off at my work and just watch anime the whole day. Please do that.
you need to understand this. We are living in an era that most marketing people call the abundance era of media. Between short form, long form, movies, and sports, there's always something huge happening. So when big things do
Wait, what was that?
for movies and sports,
If you want to watch it, do it on the live. I rewatch it too. Bruh, if I can, I'll definitely try to come up with a way to do anime streams. but so I can actually watch it, because I don't want to. I've seen people do anime streams where they like turn it off screen, and they just show their like face on the live, and that's it. That's kind of like, I don't want to do that kind of stuff. Like, I want to actually show the anime.
There's always
But I didn't know Logan Paul. I didn't know Mr. Freaking. I didn't know Speed fought that idiot. That's a freaking. Well, I guess you're really gonna do anything for attention.
something huge happening. So when big things do happen, like a Stranger Things, Marvel movie, or a big game, they kind of just come and go. And after
Yeah. So if I can, I for sure I won't be able to do it on YouTube. I've seen anime streams on Twitch, but I haven't seen them on English. Because I know different departments in different countries, they treat copyright laws slightly differently. Like in Mexico or something. Like if Hispanics watch anime, pretty sure no one cares. Same thing with like Russians. If you watch it on the Russian side of Twitch, freaking you can watch Game of Thrones and nobody's gonna care, from what I've seen. But on the if I do it in English, I feel like that's not gonna work.
weeks, nobody really thinks about it because they're on to the next thing.
Bruh, Nate has been grinding. That's crazy. Nate, were you on my previous streams? Because that's a lot, bruh. Bruh, Logan Paul and Japan, don't even get me started. There was a time when I wanted to do a video about it because I hate Logan Paul so much, to be honest. Like, the funniest thing, people talk about his forest incident, you know, where he recorded something he shouldn't have in the Japanese, very famous forest. But I remember watching his vlog from Japan. Oh, okay, so you've been, okay. So the thing is, I remember watching Logan Paul's vlog from Japan, and it's the most piece of shit behavior he was showing. Because he went to, like, I don't remember what it was. It wasn't like a church, but it was like a fountain where Japanese people would go and throw coins into to honor their dead ones. And Logan Paul went there, acting like a moron, recording all of this, obviously, and you know what he did? He freaking... He did this! But with coins into that fountain. He was just freaking tossing coins like this into the fountain where Japanese people were honoring their loved ones. Like, I saw that, I'm like, what the hell, bro? Like, genuinely. Because he did apologize for the... He did apologize for the forest video, obviously, because everyone hated him, and I'm pretty sure even YouTube was ready to fire him. Logan Paul apology video is one of the greatest things on... Yeah, for sure. He made a severe lapse in his judgment. But, like, that, in my opinion, is even worse. Like, because recording in the forest, he was just a dumbass. But doing this is just straight up disrespectful to freaking, I don't know, religion, nature, freaking culture of Japan. It's like, I don't know, this guy... I don't know.
Huge happening. So when big things
Sounds noisy.
do happen, like a Stranger Things, Marvel movie, or a big game, they kind of just come and go, and after 2 weeks, nobody really thinks about it because they're on to the next thing.
No, I mean, you don't have to say it in chat, Nate. I was specifically avoiding, you know, what exactly he recorded and laughed at it. Yeah, he didn't laugh. He was just acting. He recorded it, and he was like, doing the YouTube, like YouTube shocking expression. Like a freaking pog face. Like that, he was doing that. That's the face he did in the forest right there. Literally, that's literally how he looked. And then he's like cried and apologized. Well, I guess he was really sorry. I don't believe he had bad intentions. He was just an idiot. I didn't know he did the coin. Yeah, exactly. Like, not many people remember because it was freaking like 12 years ago by now. But like, I don't like this. Like, Logan Paul is legitimately like, I don't think he's a bad person. I think he's just an idiot to an extent where he doesn't realize he does something offensive because he's that much of an idiot. Like, with his like crypto scam, the thing with the what was it called? The energy drink that he does. Because I remember with the energy drink, Prime, that's the one. With Prime, there was a right now Prime, like, nobody really cares about it. Back in the day where like KSI was promoting it along with Logan Paul, like with clips, like musical like songs and stuff. There was a lawyer on TikTok who accused Logan of putting like some chemicals that cause cancer into Prime. If I remember correctly, it was just a like a freaking paint or something that you can drink, like it's a legal chemical, but it's just it's considered not very healthy, but it's legal to put that in a drink. But the reason why I think it's so dumb is because Logan Paul ended up just like saying that he's gonna sue that lawyer unless he doesn't shut up, and and this lawyer deleted all of his videos. Like, I don't know, that's not a respectable behavior, to say the very least, along with all the other shit he did. Like, yeah, he did make it rain with coins, for real. So, like, I don't know. That's actually what freaking cancel culture doesn't work in America anymore, I feel like, so... Whatever. I don't think Logan Paul resurfaced from his... I don't know, did he? He was really popular... Wait... He is really popular still. Like, he's really popular in shorts on Instagram, I know. But what about YouTube? I mean, he does the fights, right? I mean, I don't know, 1,500,000, 600. He still gets collabs with, like, IShowSpeed and Mr. Beast and etc. So clearly these popular YouTubers, they don't care. They don't care about all this shit he did. So I would say he fairly resurfaced. Like, he has popularity, like views. Again, other YouTubers don't mind collabing with him. So John Cena doesn't care. So I would say exposing truth about Prime. Okay. So, like, yeah, no, he's definitely still got it. Like, far from being cancelled for all the stuff he did. Like, even from the cryptocurrency, his like most large scam, he literally just said that whoever helped him make the crypto scam, he just ran to Australia. That was his excuse. Like, seriously, did people listen to that and like, yes, yes, I believe that.
Thing. Yeah, that didn't fucking happen with the Chainsaw Man movie. It set the bar so high, like, I can't go fucking watch Chitose Ramon in a bottle anymore after watching like that. Like, that does not belong in the same medium as like this. It's just entire, like, both should be good.
I agree with this as well. That Reza's arc set the bar far too high, and Jujutsu Kaisen season 3 as well. Because so many people now treat those anime as like the norm. Because I remember I reviewed Chain Soldier, which has pretty good animation. A lot of people said it has bad animation because it's not as good as Reza's arc. But Reza's arc is like peak. It's nearly peak of anime industry at the point. So, definitely not. Like, average anime is far worse. Like, Reza's arc and Jujutsu Kaisen are like exceptions in terms of animation.
But it just doesn't work for me anymore. And what's most disappointing is with the ensemble of like overworked talent, what would they cook if they had more time with these projects is the only thing you could possibly wonder. Honestly, man, though, the reality is they probably would cook the same thing. And if you don't believe me, I'll just let the fucking world's most hated man explain it to you.
How do you think about why your companies are able to move fast?
Aim for a deadline that I at least think is at the 50th percentile, so it's not like an impossible deadline.
Well,
but it's not realistic.
again, it's not fair to compare American companies and how they function to Japanese companies.
Like overworked talent.
Oh, I want to release into that. Oh, by the way, director of season 3 of Attack on Titan, ladies and gentlemen. Remember you said about Breaking Point? Truly. Yeah, I feel like we're past that point.
What would they cook if they had more time with these projects is the only thing you could possibly wonder. Honestly, man, though, the reality is they probably would cook the same thing. And if you don't believe me, I'll just let the fucking world's most hated man explain it to you.
How do you think about why your companies are able to move fast?
Aim for a deadline that I at least think is at the 50th percentile, so it's not like an impossible deadline, but it's the most aggressive deadline I can think of. There is like a law of gases expansion that applies to schedules. You said we're gonna do this something in like 5 years. It will expand to fully available schedule, and it'll take 5 years.
Now that fact is probably true in situations where you're not getting overworked this bad. At a certain point, it will become impossible for MAPPA to hire anyone because all of their key staff keeps leaving because of this philosophy that you must work people until they're literally dead to catch up to
Well, the thing is, we can cry about it as much as we want, but unfortunately, that's the reality. And unfortunately, they're so far succeeding. This formula is working. They got Jujutsu Kaisen, they got Chainsaw Man, which is incredibly popular and incredibly successful. Their name is one of the most popular in the industry right now, somewhere along with Madhouse, probably, maybe even higher. Because again, Chainsaw Man and Attack on Titan are incredibly popular. So, I guess that's it. Okay, it's been, bruh. I don't know if we have more time for... I wanted to watch another video from Giguk a while ago, but I think it's not worth it. Because it's about some shit anime he found. So, and there's another one. Okay, let's watch one more video about Chainsaw Man, actually, since we talked about MAPPA. Now let's talk about the Chainsaw Man ending. I wanted to talk about it a while ago, because a lot of people were disappointed, and I don't understand why. So, I wanted to watch a video where somebody explains it, and I can quickly explain why I wasn't, I'm a little disappointed. I wanted there to be part 3, I'm gonna say right away. I definitely wanted part 3 of Chainsaw Man to be a reality. Unfortunately, no. We're finished where we finished. But it's not something I didn't expect. Because again, as I've said, and I'll talk about it why as we watch. But again, the ending wasn't a surprise for me.
Expose him! Expose him!
It is not an exaggeration to say that this is the worst manga ending of recent history. This fanfiction ass ending belongs on AO3, not Manga Plus. I can't believe we're getting "and it was all a dream" endings in the big 2026. What are we even doing here? Well, I'm not letting it slide. This is a bad ending, and part 2 as a whole is awful. The characters are wasted. The themes are such. The plot is pointless.
Is that how people who like Classroom of the Elite feel when they watch my videos? Because I feel like I get you guys now. I am experiencing the same feeling at the moment.
The cliffhangers were atrocious, the art was awful, and best of all, the fandom, who kept glazing it until now, brought this upon themselves. Part 1, the final 2 chapters. These 2 chapters are the funniest example of a manga failing in 2 entirely different ways. 231 is bleak, 232 is Disney, 231 off-screened everyone, 232 brings them back unless you like Reze and Aki because screw you, they're gone forever. Let's not forget that...
Well, Reze, again, I feel like people... An eye for an eye, I guess. Okay, you got me there. The thing is with Reze, I'm gonna say that right away. I talked about it in my Reze Crucial Flaw video. The point of Reza, Gege, I almost said, Fujimoto literally said himself, he wanted Reza's arc to hurt, because he said that's a stronger feeling that audience will have. He didn't want Reza and Denji to be together because that's not the point. Probably that's why he didn't directly say that that Reza's relationship, like Reza's feelings were true. Because like I said in the video, you can still guess, there's no direct answer on whether she felt genuine feelings towards Denji or she didn't. So like, you can cry about it, but there was never a point to believe that Reza will come back.
Both chapters break the rules of Pochita's erasure. In 231, Pochita ate himself even though he couldn't because he's physically not there. In 232, he brings everyone back in time when that is not how his power works. It retroactively removes the concept but keeps you in the present. But I guess that didn't matter to Fujimoto just so that he could write this ending. Fanfiction ass ending, Disney ass ending, Dream SMP ass ending, Avengers Endgame
Excuse you, Dream SMP ending was peak.
ass ending.
Excuse you, as somebody who watched, I'll admit it. All of you 10 people in chat are probably gonna hate me, but I watched Dream SMP every stream of it. Because during COVID there was nothing else to do, and the ending was great.
For chapter 231, what I'll say is this.
It was Denji's first love. It wasn't meant to be. Well, I mean, I guess Makima was Denji's first love. Reza was the first girl who showed Denji that there is something more, so to speak. Because, like, even Himeno, he kind of liked her. He said she was hot at the very least. Reza, I guess Reza represented escape, I want to call it that, for both of the characters. Because Reza was a person from a different country, like from a completely different world. She felt bad for Denji, and she proposed to run away to start anew. So
we've learned it's possible to combine the off-screening of Gojo,
since we're talking about Chainsaw Man, I actually dropped the manga after the girl vomited on the guy while kissing him. Bruh, that was very early on. Come on, when Himeno vomited into Denji's mouth, that was very early on. You missed so much. Come on, that wasn't even wasn't even the first 5 books. Come on, bruh. Wait, hang on. I have Chainsaw Man manga right here. Hang on a second. Where is it? Did I put it away somewhere? Bro, where did I put it? Bro, I couldn't have lost it. Come on. And I guess I lost it. I was rearranging my bookshelf, so it was disgusting, yeah. But I don't know, not the worst plot, not the worst plot decision. They were worse. But I mean, there was more. I've never watched Chainsaw Man. What's that about, bro? You're capping, bro. Stop lying to me. Bruh, at the very least, you gotta read Chainsaw Man manga till the Gun Devil reveal, because that's when it's revealed that Makima is, spoiler, not a very nice person. That, in my opinion, is freaking literally one of the best books I've ever read. It's really good. I think it's book 8, or 7 or 9 of Chainsaw Man. It has Aki on the front. It's too much work to describe for me. I'm telling you the truth. You haven't seen Chainsaw Man. What else? Wait, you haven't seen? What you said? You haven't seen Jujutsu Kaisen, and you haven't seen Chainsaw Man. What are you doing here then? Alright, Chainsaw Man. Well, I'm gonna describe it slightly without spoilers. Basically, it's about this girl. It's about a guy, Denji, who's just like me for real. Like, literally the most relatable guy ever. A broke-ass teenager who has nothing, who's in debt. All of his relatives died. He's working for Mafia. He gets the demon superpowers where he can transform into a demon. And I'm describing it without spoilers. That's literally first 10 minutes of the anime, what I'm describing right now. And then he gets everything he wanted. He gets a job. He gets a loving boss girlfriend. And that's where I'm gonna stop. Because after that cliche of a beginning, the anime completely subverts all the expectations. And in the book as well. And that's why you gotta read it, in my opinion. One of the reasons why Chainsaw Man is probably like my second favorite story I've ever read is because it subverts your expectations so well. Like, it starts as an incredibly cliche story, like the most cliche shonen ever. And then it becomes it becomes backwards of it. It's something you don't expect, and it's like that the whole story. I would say even part 2. Part 1 is probably narratively stronger than part 2. Part 2 is more about Denji actually getting a girl, I would say. In my opinion, that's what part 2 is about. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil it too much so you guys can read it. But I would say Chainsaw Man is 100% worth reading.
The fraudness of Ymir, the pointlessness of Oshinoko, the pro-suicide messaging of Platinum End, all made even worse by the fact that these are happening to the main goddamn character. For 232, all I'll say is this: if you've cared even once about the story and where it was gonna go, congratulations, and here's a Fell for It Again award. Turns out the only solution to how this story is gonna be solved is to just erase all the bad guys. Makima's not here, Death's not here, Yoru's not here, and I assume Famine and the Gun Devil aren't for whatever reason.
Well, I think they died. So. Didn't they? Makima died, reincarnated. Spoiler. Makima died, got reincarnated, and died again. So, of course she's gone. What do you think?
Nothing has changed.
Plus, after the ending, if Makima was still there, that's not a freaking ending. If after Chainsaw Man ended and Makima came back, that's the worst possible scenario. Because even the villain of part 2 of Chainsaw Man wasn't active in part 1 because she was afraid of Makima. So if Makima would have came back, that's freaking not a happy. That's the worst ending possible.
Fundamentally, and yet we are expected to believe that everything is all better now just because Denji and Power are trading MCU-style quips, and there's a literal title drop in the last chapter.
Bruh, that panel is peak fiction, unironically. It's so good, and it's so in character as well. She was reincarnated just to get killed. Holy hell. Well, thanks for spoiling it for Neto. I try to avoid the part where... Well, I mean, I did say killed. Okay, I did say die. I didn't want to say killed. Because that's kind of a spoiler. If I just said died. There's a mystery how she died. Anyway, yeah, take that, Georgie. Your work is getting slandered. No! What can I do? Bruh. Anyway. Well, the thing is, I would say, it's a little shame that she died again. Let's say it's, but again, the reason why I'm saying that's probably not the ending I would have wanted, but that's the ending I can accept because that's Fujimoto's style, basically. His work is not supposed to make you satisfied. I just assumed she was killed after Kirin died. Okay, well, my bad. My bad. Well, anyway, read Chainsaw Man manga. Like I said, the thing is about Fujimoto's work, because I've also watched what was it called? Look Back, which also one of the Fujimoto. It's based on Fujimoto's story. Wait, look back. Anime. Based on Fujimoto's story as well. It's pretty good. It's also really relatable, I would say. Not spoiling anything. But the thing is, when you read or watch media that based on Fujimoto's work, you kinda understand, in my opinion, that his intentions is never to make it fully satisfying. Like, it's just kind of work he does. Dude wanted to finish his story. Like, I don't know, because the story of Chainsaw Man is finished. Like, undoubtedly it's finished. I think the only thing I would have wanted personally is for Asa and Denji to be officially together. Like, Asa and Denji. But if you think about it, in part 2, they almost literally said they love each other. So I feel like it's really heavily implied that they're gonna be together. But again, the Fujimoto, like I said in my video about Reza, he loves women that hate him. Just a fun fact about this guy. He loves women that treat him like shit unironically. So it's the kind of guy. He's that kind of author who just his stories are not supposed to have a happy ending, basically. Not even the happy ending, like I said. It's not supposed to make you feel like other stories you'd expect.
Genuinely, what?
Like, is it good? Well, I don't know, because writing is different, in my opinion. Like, there's different writing. Like, again, he's a masochist, well, yeah, to say the least. Like, there's a lot of books which have the sort of same feeling. I don't know why I'm googling that. You probably are familiar with that one. Romeo and Juliet. I think that's not how you write Juliet, by the way. Wait, never mind. Romeo and Juliet, similar sort of feeling. It's not supposed to be a happy, satisfying ending. Like, there is a different story there. It's the story that, like, makes you, like, to put it simply, same as Fujimoto's stories, it ends and leaves you with a strong emotion. In my opinion, that's how it is. Maybe I am alone in this. Maybe I am ready to accept it. But in my opinion, that's what I'm seeing. And usually when I read, like, Japanese manga, books, I'm trying to find what author meant. And I feel like that's probably not the best way to do it. The other books that I've read, they're slightly better than Chainsaw Man. Like, my favorite book is not Chainsaw Man. But I think that's what that's what Fujimoto had in mind, basically.
What the hell? How can one story be so sickly sweet and brutally nihilistic at the same time? Oh, shut.
You gotta go, truly? Okay, have a nice day. Thanks for tuning in, bro.
Are the limits of pacing, like no mangaka has before. Gege! Off-screening awaits me. Exceeding all known limits of pacing, Fujimoto is the one who'll end his manga at light speed! Part 2, themes and such. Chainsaw Man Part 2 has themes, lots of them. The Justice Devil arc is a partial coming of age for Asa. The Dating Denji arc is about making your own path in a world that tries to force you to work by its rules. The Falling Devil arc is about learning to keep living when you're traumatized and depressed. The Chainsaw Church arc is how religion is used to control people. The Aging Devil arc is about Japanese society.
Bruh, I somehow forgot about the... We had a nice run. Yeah. I guess he didn't beat Nate. Bruh, I completely forgot that Chainsaw Man church stuff. Completely that legitimately almost like my mind blocked it that there's a whole church of Chainsaw Man.
Being weighed down by the elderly and the aging. The current arc has some America critique riddled in and is a deconstruction.
Bruh, America shit in that moment when Americans reinvent the nukes when nukes get deleted from reality and Americans recreate the nukes again. That shit's freaking funny in Chainsaw Man. I'm sorry that we're not watching the video that much and I'm showing you fun stuff from Manga, but that that shit is peak. It's ironic, but it's really funny. I feel like, of course, I remember. I don't love Denji. I am in love with America because America is freaking. That's the war devil, by the way, for context. It's literal incarnation of war, which makes sense so much.
The mentality that led Denji to this bad end that he found himself in. I'm saying this to prove I get it. I really do. I understand Chainsaw Man, but that doesn't make it good, because the end result is actually you shouldn't get what you want. Desiring something is what makes you truly happy. It doesn't tie into any of the themes. In fact, it counters them. You can't mature if you're stunted by trauma. Are you just meant to comply with the authorities and the elderly who force their ways upon you? Because Pochita thinks so. By stealing agency from Denji, all of these themes are destroyed in one fell swoop, leaving behind an ending that is totally not...
You know, I have a theory. Again, bro, I'm trying to not to say too much so I don't spoil the stuff. Just like this guy as well, I feel like, because he's not describing everything exactly. The thing is, Pochita is a devil. And in Chainsaw Man, it's said that all the devils bring, like, all the devils bring is sadness and destruction. So, I feel like when, in the end, Pochita does basically just that. I feel like that's... it makes sense, so...
Realistic.
Even though Pochita is Denji's best friend, basically.
I don't believe Fujimoto believes this. I think he just doesn't realize the impact of what he wrote.
I think he understands the impact of what he wrote, and that's exactly why he did it that way. It's exactly why, because he knows the impact it's gonna cause, he made it that way.
Something you need to address!
And while I'm at it, I've heard a common refrain that the term themes and such is anti-intellectual. It's not anti-intellectual, it's formalist. Themes and such is a compressed version of the critique that Chainsaw Man has nothing going for it other than its themes. If you were to apply the same level of analysis to its form, characters, script, and art, you would have to tear it apart. Focusing purely on the themes, which every single other story has, and which is partially in the minds of the viewer, is
You know what I wonder? It's gonna be really stupid fact check, but did Japanese people like ending of Chainsaw Man Part 2? Japanese audience reception at the end of Chainsaw Man Part 2, early 2026, is heavily divided, ranging from praising poetic character-focused revolution to harsh criticism over packing and plot, showing similar reaction to a Western audience. Some Japanese fans praised as a fitting bold end to Denji's journey. Others expressed disappointment, feeling it was rushed or aimless, often pointing towards a burnout or decreased engagement, similar to critic on Twitter and Reddit. The thing is, since we're in Chainsaw Man, have you ever watched the Chainsaw Man original song, Bang Bang Bang? Wait. I'm gonna look at it on my phone. I think I know what you mean. It's where, it's where Yoro dances, right? And then a lot of people then started copying, completely missing the point. Yes, I've seen that one. It's pretty nice.
ludicrous way of engaging with the manga. At this point, you're willfully illiterate and you're not reading it for what it is. You're reading it for what you want it to be.
Well, again, here's the thing. To sum it up without spoilers, could you make Chainsaw Man ending more satisfying? Yes. Do I think Fujimoto wanted it to be that? No. Wait, what?
3, meaning
What happened to the audio? Cool. Wait, you're number 1 now. That's crazy. Congratulations, Drixus.
plot.
What happened to the audio? What did I click? Hang on. Technical difficulties.
The most maddening
What happened to the goddamn audio? Do you guys hear that? Or it's my headphones that broke. Wait a minute.
part about this is that the plot itself has nothing to do with the themes of man. The world was doomed from the start, and the only character who had any real agency to write this ending wasn't Denji, or Asa, or Yoru, or even Pochita, it was Death. Death was the only one who maintained agency throughout the story, in life and in digestion. If Death survives, the world dies. If Death gets eaten by Pochita, the world gets eaten by bugs, or pain, or whatever other devil takes her place. There is no correct answer. Nothing Denji could do, no choice he can make, would solve this plot. Either Yoru gets her power up because America develops nukes, which she has no influence upon, forcing Death to be eaten by Pochita under fear of becoming a weapon, or Death continues to live and kills everyone. You could run the simulation 1,000,000 times, changing little things here and there, and the story would still end up screwed. So ironically, due to that, there are zero stakes in the story whatsoever, since none of the main characters have agency.
That's the funniest. Wait.
None of their choices matter. Since none of their choices matter, there's no reason to care.
Bruh. Please adjust the audio, that was really loud.
Part 4, the controversy cycle. Fujimoto has been playing his audience this entire time. There's a simple way he jangles keys in the audience's face over and over again. First, he makes a chapter with a controversial element.
Bruh, that's true. I genuinely believed that would have been part 3. But I was fooled. There was never gonna be a part 3. I'm an idiot for believing it, and I got baited.
Then the unbearable discourse ensues. People make headcanons and say, just wait for the next chapter, he'll clear this up. Then the new chapter drops and he doesn't address it at all. The Glazers continue on, satisfied they won the argument, and the critics find another objectionable thing in the new chapter. Go back to any chapter and I can assure you that this is what happens. This isn't a way to write a real story. He's not building up to anything. He's just throwing shit at the wall and nothing sticks. There's no care or effort into making the whole story cohesive. The only thing that matters is getting people to stick around for the next week to see if they're right. Part 5, the art decline. This is really low-hanging fruit, so
the art, I gotta agree.
I'm not gonna spend too much time on this one. Chainsaw Man's art quality has undeniably gone down over the course of Part 2. The drawings got...
This shit you can defend, unfortunately. Unfortunately, especially, I would have been okay with this if that's how it was from the start. But it was much better before that. Which honestly makes me think that part of me makes me think, and that's part of me I'm trying to desperately ignore, is that Fujimoto ended this ending partially because he just got tired. Like Gege with Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, Gege admitted he wanted to move on to different projects, and he moved on to Jujutsu Kaisen Modello. Like, he wrapped up Jujutsu Kaisen. Again, a lot of people said it's a shit ending, it's rushed. And Gege did say that he kind of rushed it because he got tired of it, so... Maybe same thing with Fujimoto, he just didn't admit it.
Rougher, Denji turned into a mouth breather. Fujimoto started using more 3D models and this pen that has zero pressure sensitivity.
That stuff looks funny, though. It looks funny.
At points. Chainsaw Man Part 1 is one of the best paneled manga I've read. Fujimoto's use of negative space, the borders between panels, his cinematic shorthands, and the use of onomatopoeia are amazing, to the point that the rougher artwork didn't bother me in the slightest. That's why I found it so disappointing that all of these elements were absent from Part 2. Part 1's paneling was unique.
I honestly have a feeling that Part 1 was... Part 1 wasn't as...
among shonen.
Like, first, like, that screenshot, it's the first chapter. So, obviously, first chapter can't be looking like the ending chapters, because you need to gather people's attention. So they would keep following the story. But unfortunately, yeah, when you get comfortable, stuff gets like that. When you get comfortable with you already get enough money, you can start doing art a little weaker, less detailed, because, well, people are already interested in your story. Your story is already one of the most sold books in the country, so...
All of these elements were absent from Part 2. Part 1's paneling was unique among shonen manga, but Part 2 looks like just any other. I think basically
Right, you know what's funny? I tried...
among shonen manga, but
I tried to put this design on my bank card. I mailed my bank. I can customize my card. I emailed them... Well, it's not exactly this photo, it's similar. It was something like this. It was this. I asked them, can I put this on my bank card? They didn't answer me yet. But I hope that I can put this on my debit card. Because I feel like it's gonna be really funny anytime I pay this. Anytime I pay for anything, really.
2 looks like just any other. I think basically everyone can agree on that. What I'd like to address in this segment is a couple of rumors and myths. Myth number 1, Fujimoto
Well, it's not peak. It's not peak, like, let me read them. It's actually... The story is supposed to be shit, so it's peak. You don't think it's peak, then you're dumb. I don't think you're dumb if you don't like the story, obviously. It's just, a lot of stories. Unfortunately, Chainsaw Man started like a Western kind of storytelling. But clearly, since it starts like a typical shonen and then it subverts your expectation, I have a feeling Fujimoto wanted to do something like that as well. Just with a different feeling. Because, again, based on everything he did, I don't believe there was supposed to be a satisfying ending. Freaking all the character assassinations he did, like literal assassinations, not even like in terms of writing, he literally just killed them. Just so audience would feel sad. I feel like that's obvious to me.
I'd like to address in this segment is a couple of rumors and myths. Myth number 1, Fujimoto lost all of his assistants and that's why the art got worse. This is false. Fujimoto's famous assistants left after Part 1, and he was given new ones for Part 2. You can tell by looking at early Part 2 that the art quality is the same as it was in Part 1. It only falls off starting at the Falling Devil arc, and there were no personnel changes at that.
Well, because it's a Falling Devil arc, duh. There's a reason why the quality falls off.
Point. Myth number 2, Fujimoto is overburdened by Jump. This is false, and he takes as many breaks as he wants. If it was true that he was overburdened, then we would see a difference between chapters that took 1 week to make versus chapters that took 2 weeks to make. However, you cannot tell the difference between these chapters. That proves that for whatever reason, this is just as good as he wants the art to be. It's not Jump's fault. I've seen people say that he should do monthly chapters, and that wouldn't be a solution either. If he takes 1 week to draw 14 pages and 2 weeks to make 17, then he'd probably only make 25 pages a month. We can also see that the final chapter, which took 2 weeks, has many more pages, proving that this level of productivity was possible the entire time. Fujimoto's time per page is far greater than...
Again, I personally... Good one, thank you, I appreciate it. I don't like... personally, I don't like judging a story and go into the what-ifs. The author worked quicker, the author was publishing stuff bigger, or if he took bigger breaks, or if he got paid more, or whatever. Because we don't know. We don't know, and in the industry, again, and especially in Japanese industry, there can be a lot of things behind the curtains that we are not aware of. Maybe he was rushed by the publisher. I don't think it's possible since he's one of the biggest writers in the country. But something like this could have happened. Maybe, like I said, he's freaking just tired of his own story. That's also a possibility. We'll never know, though, because unlike Gege, who basically just says whatever he thinks, Fujimoto is not like that. So, because of that, I don't like going, like, I like judging the story based on it is. I admit I am very biased towards Chainsaw Man because I like it. I personally enjoy it. So, can do a video on a Historia from Attack on Titan in the series. Bruh, maybe... I don't know if Attack on Titan, if anybody's gonna care about Attack on Titan stuff. Because back in the day where I was posting reviews of Attack on Titan... I mean, the videos were meh. But maybe... Like, nobody's gonna care. I don't know. Maybe at some point. I have like a plan for videos that I'm trying to follow. Currently, I have a video I have planned, which I want to try a little bit new stuff before. So, like, to put it shortly, I'm trying to maintain a schedule where I release an anime video once per week or once per 2 weeks. That's basically. And I want to try this stuff where I post 2 videos a week, but it's going to be 1 anime and 1 random stuff. And I want to try that at least for once. And so the next video I want to try... Attack on Titan hype has died down after the ending. Yes, that's also, I feel like, the reason. I want to try releasing video where I talk about arc raiders and marathon video games. And then after that, I had a planned video, but perhaps I will swap it to a video about Code Geass. Because I feel like it's going to be thematically better. Plus, I want to rewatch it, so I feel like after I rewatch it, I'm going to have much more things to say. So, basically, yeah.
Any other weekly mangaka, but it makes no difference to the quality of the art. Myth number 3. The art style is purposefully made to show Denji's deteriorating mental state. This is false.
Although maybe you're onto something, Nate, because I have made a video, this one, Manipulators Without Build-Up, where I talked about Eren for half of the video. So maybe hype is still there. Like, perhaps, okay, I'll write it. I have notes for my videos.
We've had multiple chapters
and
without
I will
Denji's
add that
POV,
there.
and the art quality remains consistently at a lower level. We've also had chapters in which Denji's mental state improves, and the art quality remains consistently at a lower level. If this was...
Because I do agree with you, Historia is really interesting. Also, I need a video on Code Geass, probably the best thing. Yeah, for sure. No, Code Geass is definitely gonna be a video, it's just a matter of when. Because I need to finish the anime. I haven't finished these, part 2. Like, part 2 after Lelouch got his memories. Like, after he reclaimed... I think I finished Stop Watching Code Geass on the part where Lelouch and his gang escapes to another country. That's where I stopped. I need to finish that. I know the ending though because I got spoiled a bunch of times, but I do agree that Historia is a really good, like, interesting character to talk about. Not only because of her story, but because there's a lot of flaws of how her story is introduced. So, I do want to talk about that. So maybe. Aaron went to from mediocre protagonist to an awful protagonist by the end. No, I wouldn't say he's mediocre. Like, the whole thing. What are you waiting for? I don't know. Like, I wanna. The video I was gonna make. I was gonna make about romance and freerun. About. I mean, in my notes where I started writing the script, it's possible title Great Romance and Enemy, and in the script I talk about Syrian Stark and characters from Dandaran, because that's the romance I wanted to talk about, because it's really good, and compared to some other anime, it's freaking masterpiece even. So about Aaron. He is. I don't know. I can't call him mediocre. The point of Aaron's character is that he starts as a typical shonen protagonist, but he becomes like the whole twist about his obsession, like, because he's obsessed with getting revenge on the Titan. Freerun is on my list. I heard it's... Bro, have you watched anything, Nate? You haven't watched Freerun, seriously? Okay, so basically, about Aaron, quickly. Until I forgot. The thing is that Aaron Yeager, the point is he's obsessed with Titans. Like, getting revenge, destroying all the Titans, that's his one single obsession that a lot of other protagonists in anime also share. But the twist is that this obsession goes 180 at some point, and he decides to, from killing all the Titans, he decides to kill all the humans. Like, I would say that's what makes his character good, because when he realizes that his goal doesn't make sense anymore, after he realizes the whole thing about the truth about Titans, he doesn't abandon it. It's just his goal basically evolves. Yeah, he evolves, I guess. Yeah, so yeah, it becomes... It goes into even crazier obsession, to the point where he thinks that destroying all humanity is the right thing to do. Leaving only his people. Like, I think it's not mediocre at the very least. Like, I would say the way when they revealed the whole thing that he saw the future, that's dumb. And Mikasa kills him. I think that's just stupid. But, and where he's like, oh, I didn't want to do that, starts crying, I want to spend time with Mikasa. Like, bruh, not what I wanted from Eren Yeager. Kiddo, watch Code Geass while at Evergarden. Attack on Titan, Steins Gate. That's it? Entire Fate series. You watched entire Fate... Okay, no wonder you haven't watched anything else. You watched entire Fate series. No wonder you don't have time for anything else. Okay. Attack on Titan, unfortunately, I wish she lived a good character. Wait, what? Freedom. Attack on Titan. I mean, I guess. I don't think she needed to live. I mean, it would have been satisfying if she lived. She lived because she was charismatic, but I don't know. Frida, you mean the Frida that received the founding Titan? Is that the girl you mean? With black hair. Wait. The girl who received the founding Titan and who was eaten by Eren Yeager's son. Yeah, I agree. Well, it's just you can't let her live because she has a founding Titan. But I do agree. I would have loved to see more of her, because in the flashback she was pretty cool. Question in the chat: how do you watch a Fate series chronologically, bro? Don't even get me started. I watched Fate series partially, and there's no right answer. I don't know, Nate, correct me if I'm wrong. Death Note as well. You watched Death Note. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, there's no right reason to there's no right way to watch Fate series.
It's true, then we would see the quality of the art fluctuate based on his mindset.
Bruh, this guy needs to freaking adjust his sound. I know, because I did the exact same thing when the memes are louder than the rest of the video.
Part 6, the fandom. Frankly speaking,
It is worth watching then. Fate is worth watching, it's just you have to acknowledge that, like, a lot of anime made by Ufotable, there's glorious, amazing, beautiful fights, and then there's a lot of yapping in between. Like with Demon Slayer, like with Fate, it's just something you have to go through. This yapping is sometimes extremely annoying, but the fights are worth it. I mean, I wouldn't say plot in Fate is like... It's not bad, it's odd. That's how I would describe it. They definitely make it a little too convoluted in a couple times. Like when there's freaking 5 versions of Arthur, or whatever, the girl, the blonde, like Saber, or whatever. Like there's variations of her. Fate anime, all versions. Because like that's absurd. You don't need that many versions. You don't need that many versions of the exact same character. Like, come on.
there isn't a better fandom that this could have happened to. Chainsaw Man fans have been compared to Rick and Morty fans, and spiritually they're very similar. No offense to the current Rick and Morty fans, who are now quite reasonable and sane, but they used to be incredible glazers of the highest level, pseudo-intellectuals, and would generally go crazy if you didn't love their thing as much as they did. Chainsaw Man fans were much the same. The manga was showing cracks ever since the aquarium arc had Nayuta hit the reverse button on Denji and Asa's relationship, but anyone who dared point that out lacked media literacy. It's ironic because Chainsaw Man became the shonen manga with the lowest words.
Wait, I agree most of your points, but Chainsaw Man, active reading and the best example of how many haters are in the sub? Huh. Well, again, compared to... I don't know if it's fair to compare it to Modulo. Modulo is the aftermath of the Jujutsu Kaisen. It's already established world. A lot of characters are pre-established by Jujutsu Kaisen. A little different.
Per page, beating.
Plus, there's a lot of just yapping. A lot of just random dialogues in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Out JJK Modulo and My Hero Academia. It gets to a point where you
We do not compare My Hero Academia to Chainsaw Man, bro. Get out of here.
Understand why JJK fans placed literal curses on them, and succeeded. Me and
also, Saber's real name is Arthur Pendragon. Yeah, it's just like, she's... Correct me if I'm wrong, she's like a King Arthur, like, alternative female version, right? It's basically what she's in Fate.
Included. Like, seriously, what was that? Can anyone explain this? Anyways, the fandom being so insane and glazed.
Fujimoto copied the ending of Arc 9 ReZero but made it worse. Fate Stay Night visual novel is incredible. Okay, so about ReZero, I mean, I guess you can't be... I didn't know copied is the right word, but there is definitely inspiration involved. like I would say.
Fujimoto is probably...
But with ReZero, well, I mean, the point definitely still stands. It's just I'm trying to defend Fujimoto a little bit. ReZero is the first isekai to ever be, like, okay, at the very least, the first isekais that popularized that genre so heavily came out before Jobless Reincarnated. So, a a lot of things that were there, like almost all the cliches that were in ReZero just got transferred somewhere else. To be fair. But the point still stands, yes.
Probably why you had so many people essentially writing the story for him, even as he continued to off-screen more and more plot points, leaving his sidecast undeveloped. Chainsaw Man fans figured out how to make 1-hour video essays on why Yoshida is
Right, I want to watch that later.
a deep character. Fujimoto's awful critique of America and milquetoast government bad themes were held up as incredible messaging, even as Kagurabachi approached the topic with greater nuance and thoughtfulness. The fandom propping up Chainsaw Man so hard, even though events that would have broken any other fandom, is why it's crashing so hard now, and I can't help but sit back and laugh.
Wait, excuse me? I'm disabled to have 9 years left to live. My reincarnation will have a good life, I guess. I got hit hard with depression for years because of immortality. Now it is better. I reunite with friends and have plans how to move on for. Well, in case of Yuji, it's one dialogue that suggests all of that, but okay. I worked as a teacher for 8 years, then I became top 4 hero in Japan, started dating Michako. Also explained in one background in monologue. Please, I beg of you, make me poor. Don't make me poor, bitches with million. Well, different stories. Fujimoto has a different vision. Like, Itadori lost everything, essentially. There's not even an exact confirmation if he got the girl he wanted. There's speculation, but there's not exact confirmation that the girl he loved ended up being with him. Chainsaw Man has actually the worst ending of all time, even surprised. Bruh. Nothing will be worst of all time until there is a Darling in the Franxx, B, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, C, let me read. I guess those two are enough, to be fair. Those two are more than enough. Until there's those anime, Yuji broke the haircut curse, yes. Bruh, he looks amazing though, in Modello. Freaking sexy as hell. I'm not gay, but... So yeah, nothing will be the worst of all time unless there's still always Cyberpunk Edge Runners and Darling in the Franxx.
Part 8. The characters. I was originally gonna script this, but I couldn't bring myself to write more words for this than Fujimoto himself did. After 231, I was resolved to wait until the final chapter came out.
The memes are great though, in that you were great, then you fell off hard. I shall never forget you for as long as you live, part 2 of Chainsaw Man. The memes are great though. Tokyo Revengers, bruh. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's bad. So I'll believe you. Tokyo Revengers adds to the trio along with Darling and Franxx and Edge Runners.
231, I was resolved to wait until the final chapter came out, just to see who would be left out so that I could talk about them. Yoshida was already wasted, and so was Nayuta, and obviously the Famine Devil wasn't coming back, but maybe the Fire Devil would, or Asa and Yoru would get a conclusion, or Denji, surely, at the least. But no, none of that happened. What we get instead are a bunch...
Well, I mean, Asa and Yoru kinda did. Again, was it satisfying? Probably not. Is a conclusion is there? Yes?
Of characters who look like them, act like them, but are decidedly not the characters that we have come to know over the course of reading Chainsaw Man. Aki, Denji, Yoru, Makima, Death, Asa, Power, Nayuta, they're all gone now, and they're not coming back either. And to be honest, that's a really sad thing to say about this manga, that none of the characters meant anything in the end, because it was all just a dream. I don't even know what to say at this point. Because yes, while I knew that Chainsaw Man was gonna end poorly, it was already too poorly written by, like, the Chainsaw Church arc to actually be good again. I didn't expect it to be just this bad, to the point where everyone could agree that...
Okay. Well, great video anyway. I think I've explained my point a few times already. Alright, I think that's gonna be it for the videos. Fujimoto, if Fujimoto cared about his world and his characters half as much as, who's that? I don't know, who's, Teppei Nugasaki. We would have gotten more characters and more world-building focus. Who are you talking about? Who is that? Am I missing something? I'm really bad with names. Who's that? Oh, you mean the author of ReZero? Yeah, okay. Well, okay, to be fair, ReZero is not perfect either. Freaking... This bro showed up the best character ever, and then she freaking got replaced by clones. I remind you... Wait. There. Important detail. The best character ever showed up for one arc for freaking 4 scenes, and then got replaced by her clones. I don't know. After that, can you actually blame Fujimoto after this? I don't know. I don't know, bruh. Well, and like I said earlier in the stream, in my opinion, Fujimoto partially got tired of Chainsaw Man, I have a feeling. And second, like his other work, like stuff he did earlier in Reza's arc with Makima, his ending's never supposed to feel satisfying. It's not supposed to be a happy ending where everything works out. In my opinion, that's just how he views things. Bro is a literal masochist. Like, unironically. He enjoys when women hate him. Genuinely. He admitted in the interview where he says that he loves when women treat him like trash. So, I don't know why people wanted, people were craving for, bro, I'm craving for this woman still. I need a freaking, Dakimakura of Echidna. Just need to find a good store where I can buy it. So yeah, that's why I think that Fujimoto's Chainsaw Man ending, it was never supposed to be what people expected. Is it unfortunate? Yes. Is it like would I enjoy part 3? I would, but I think Fujimoto's vision is just different. That and he got also tired of Chainsaw Man because the art did fell off, and there's I cannot defend that with the love of my god. Like, with the love of God, that actually is bad. Echidna's returning in the final arc. I mean, maybe they're supposed to gather all the witches in the final arc, aren't they? I'll admit I wasn't following ReZero after I finished the previous season. I stopped following it and the books for a while. I mean, even if she's in the final season, I don't know. I feel like she should, with how much surprisingly how much impact Echidna has on the ReZero story. I feel like she should have been more. But they literally said if Subaru ever tries to go in her domain and have a tea party with her, he'll freaking go insane or die. It was confirmed in her interview that she's gonna come back. I mean, I hope so, because again, Echidna my favorite character in ReZero, best character I'll even dare to say, and she hates Emilia, which only makes her better. Fujimoto was forever changed after the girl kicked his bike. I think he enjoyed it. I would dare to speculate that was he changed for the better. Who's this character? Bruh, Nate. Nate. I will make a video about Echidna specifically for you. I will freaking ruin all of my schedule, all of my plans for the videos. Specifically for you. Next video is gonna be probably gonna be about Marathon and Arc Raiders, unless I get lazy and I don't finish it. Next video about Echidna. I'm gonna clip the stream right now. Next video is gonna be about the literal goddess, best character in ReZero. I don't care if all the other can freaking die for all I want. And Greed If is the best spin-off ever. And I'm gonna make a video about that. Her influence on almost every arc is insane. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. She influences almost everything. She messed up so many characters. A lot of characters, some characters' motivation is literally her. Roswell literally did so much BS because he freaking had a crush on his teacher. Or cracking Echidna, yes. Right. I would have bought Echidna's figurine if they weren't so goddamn expensive. There was a really good one where she's on a chair with a book. I don't know. It was something like, there was like this kind of figurine, but it's like freaking a lot of $100. I don't know. Again, donate me and I'll buy this figurine and I'll put it on the shelf. Bruh, if I'll be able to do anime streams, I want to watch all this. I want to do a marathon where I watch all the episodes of ReZero. Like, I would just freaking watch them non-stop. I'll take days off work so I can watch. I'll order pizza so I can just watch all the episodes of ReZero. Yeah, no, bro. Her writing is so fire. So her writing is so far. Yeah, for sure. It's far because it's far away from the main plot. So you didn't misspell it. Her writing is indeed really far. What do you mean we? Yes, brother, we. You must be not familiar with the game with her T. By the way, it's misconception that it's piss. For people who haven't read ReZero, that might be a crazy sentence, but I'm gonna say that. Roswell had an insanely base taste, indeed. His taste in clothes was freaking, in fashion, is pretty questionable though, but in women, amen. Amen, brother. Bruh, wait a minute. How much does it cost? I'm gonna open that. I'm gonna open that link. Wait, $27? That figurine is $27. I'm gonna buy that after stream. God damn. What else is there? Okay, Satel, I don't care. Millen, I don't care. Bruh. Minerva is really good as well. Minerva is... If Echidna is top 1 girl in ReZero, Minerva, top 2. Also a huge shame that she's not in the goddamn story. Okay, she's not as influential, but I just want her. Not in the story, just in general. I'm already aiming for her as death. Bruh. I'm gonna ban you. I have a planned video on, what was it called? Akamega Kill. And I feel like you're not gonna like it. Because, oh boy. I don't know, it's a weird anime. Although, Akame got killed, surprisingly, it's not my favorite anime. I think it's kind of flawed. With a lot of story. I'm not gonna say it obviously because I'm gonna make a video about it. But the ending in Akame ga Kill is like surprisingly makes sense so much if you think about it. It's the ending those characters deserve. Like, unironically. Akame ga Kill anime is awful. Like, I don't know. It's flawed. Yeah. It's I would say, well, everyone watched it for the Esdes and the main character relationship. Am I wrong? I feel like it's literally the only reason to watch this anime. There's nothing else. Manga is so much better. Maybe. Maybe I need to rewatch it, because I watched it like 5 years ago. But I feel like my opinion is not gonna change. By the way, the anime isn't canon. Excuse me. Okay, maybe I need to get into the manga. Is the manga has like a different ending? In Akame ga Kill? Because that wouldn't surprise me. But on the other hand, again, in anime, it just makes sense. It feels like it's the anime that's supposed to end like that. Akame is my favorite character, bruh. Obviously, it would be Nate. You said you like Fate, so. Facts. Thank you. Alright. Bruh, I've been streaming for 3.5 hours. That's crazy. But let me check. I gotta go to work tomorrow still. And I work night shift, so let me check my alarm. Bruh, I gotta wake up in 8 hours. Bruh, okay, that might be it to the stream though. I'll try stream every weekend, Sunday or Saturday. I would have streamed yesterday, but I died at work and I just couldn't get myself to stream. Yeah, I work. Some people at the stream, at my last stream, commented peak unemployment behavior. It's a peak employment behavior because I do this shit in between my actual work, which I do 4 days a week in night shifts. So that's why the anime is shit. Don't worry, Echidna won't be the only witch returning in the final arc. Tappei confirmed that after gaining physical body in arc 4, Echidna wants to eventually bring her fellow witches back. I think, yeah, from what I understand, try not to spoil, Echidna, well, I guess values is the correct word, other witches. That's why one of the reasons why she keeps their souls in her domain and stuff, right? So, how much we bet Subaru is in the Greed If arc? Cracked Echidna. That's a good question, because they did say that in Greed If they tried every possible possibility while in the sanctuary. So, and the Echidna literally stated that to keep meeting with her, to keep having tea parties, Subaru need to have more and more traumatic events happening to him. And each event has to be even more traumatic. So I feel like one of those things could have been something between them. I have a feeling. That's my what if theory. Alright, so thanks everyone for tuning in. I appreciate it. It was a really fun stream. It was my longest stream so far. Goodbye and have a nice